giving you 800,000 votes. So in Lagos alone, you're looking at giving Atiku 2.5 million a head start. In the East, 3.5. So in the Southwest and Southeast, you have 8 million votes already. Counting. They've not even started writing results by 12. 8 million votes is sure for you. So where will Atiku get 8 million votes from? Even if you add all the Northeast and Northwest votes, they're not going to give you 8 million. You're not talking about the votes you can get from the South or the votes you can get from the North Central. This election is over. And you list your terms and conditions. This is what we want. XYZ, 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 XYZ. Again, like I said, this is power. You cannot shout and say, okay, if you remove Akpabio, people in the South Side are going to get angry. Of course, some people might get angry, but you remind them that anger does not bring votes. So you ask them again, how many Anang voters do you have in Lagos? How many Anang voters do you have in Jos? That we're everywhere. We're in Jos. We're in Lagos. Where are we not? We have the votes. And we're the votes. But if you want this support, remove him. Again, people are going to get angry. Oh, you're trying to destroy the friendship between the South and Southeast. Hey, girl, this is not friendship matter. This is what? Power. And the way power operates is you go for power. What did Tinubu teach us? You snatch it and you grab it and you run. Again, this is discussing with Tinubu. Same thing applies to Atiku. Now, why am I saying all this? I'm saying all this because I keep on seeing people saying, oh, we need to align with the North. I say, again, you don't need to align with anybody. You need to align with the person that will give you access to power. That's the truth. You don't need to, all this Northern Alliance, all those things. To me, they are 1960 NCNC political convenience. Because in reality, if you even check our political history, Nnamdi Azikiwe's greatest alliances were with Yoruba people. The alliance with the North was political convenience. So I finished with the Southeast Abi. We go to the North Central now. North Central, I'm scratching my head because I don't know, I don't understand. I don't understand the.
They don't vote a single way.
Yeah, I'm scratching my head because I'm confused. But that said, Tinubu can still
It's
get a lot of votes there.
50-50.
Atiku can still get a lot of votes there. So Tinubu's pathway clearly, as I said earlier, is that he needs to get the maximum number of votes he can get from the South. He needs it. In fact, I just say now that if Obi, Atiku, and Tinubu run in these 2027 elections, Atiku might be the one with the highest number of votes. So people ask me how. I'll say it's simple. In 1979, the reason why Awo did not win was simply because Zik, Awo, and Shagari ran. And something funny happened. Igbo people, Zik. Yoruba people, Awo. I won't say Northerners voted for Shagari, but you guys should go back to that result and see what happened. Minorities voted for Shagari because you know what? Minorities were tired of Igbo and Yoruba people. The minorities in the South voted for Shagari. Although Benue, I think a part of Benue, I think Bendel voted for Awo. Yeah, I think Bendel State voted for Awo. Yeah. Then a lot of minorities.
Oh no, Shagari won Bendel State.
Yes.
No.
Ben they voted out. That's the old
Bendel State
Edo and
voted for Awo. I'm sure
Delta.
wrong. Then Plateau State
Yes.
voted for Nnamdi Azikiwe.
60%.
Yeah. But most of the minorities voted for Shagari and Northerners. Meanwhile, there's another Northerner that campaigned. One guy under GMPP. I don't know if you guys remember. I think it was Ibrahim something. But that's how
Imam Ibrahim.
Yeah, that's how Shagari won. In 2027, if Obi, Atiku, and Tinubu run, it's the same thing that happened. A lot of Yoruba people vote for what's it called? Tinubu. A lot of Igbo people vote for Obi. But Atiku has one slight advantage now. You know what the advantage is? One, if the North is truly angry, and I guess they are angry, and I believe they are angry, they'll give most of their votes to Atiku. Then secondly, the advantage Atiku has is that Tinubu, we have seen Tinubu, he has done his 4 years. Is there anything to write home about Tinubu? I really don't know. So Tinubu they've tested him and realized that all this Lagos talk is just mouth. He can't deliver. He has failed. So there's no self-reflection on the part of Northerners to vote for Tinubu again. You know, in 2020, they said, They supported us for 8 years. It would be unfair for us to not vote him. So that self-reflection is not there again. That is an advantage for Tinubu. Second advantage, that he has not really done much for the North. He has not really done much for anybody, apart from...
Atiku, you mean? Advantage for Atiku,
Yes, an advantage for Atiku. Yes, an advantage for Atiku. So that if Obi cannibalizes Tinubu's votes in the South, especially the Southeast and part of the South-South.
Hold on, are we assuming that we're gonna have a 3-horse race?
Wait, Chuka, stop.
Please allow him speak.
Make on wait.
Oh, I mean, we are very important here now. I mean,
I just asked a question.
I mean, don't have to assume. Let him finish. I beg you. Don't assume anything, please. So Njenje, please continue.
I just asked a question. I'm not assuming anything.
Oh my God! Allow him finish now. Njenje, go on.
Go ahead, Kenike, go ahead.
Okay, Nico.
No, now your voice.
Now the brother.
My brother. Kenena Hafa now, you know they. Oh.
Now you look
finish. I'll be done.
Finish.
The scenario that happened in 2023, if you repeat in 2027, I'm just saying that now Atiku has a slight option or a slight advantage over Tinubu and Obi, in the sense that we can all agree that the North is angry. So most likely Tinubu will not get those number of votes he got from there again. Although Tinubu has a lot of Northerners around him. But we all know from Buhari that Northern voters do not necessarily listen to their political actors, because if not, Obasanjo would have won the North, but Buhari defeated him. Atiku is not Buhari, and I agree with that. So he doesn't have Buhari's command of polling. However, there is nothing Tinubu has done to the average Northerner for them to put skin in the game for him again. And what we can see clearly is that this coalition is a collection of Buhari voters. These are the Buhari people that are angry with Tinubu that he has shielded them out of power. Check all of them. Check all the guys doing this coalition. They're all Buhari voters. So one can infer that a lot of these Buhari voters will go to their local communities and conjure one kind of funny story around Tinubu. And I don't think those votes are available for Tinubu, which is the advantage Atiku has. The second advantage Atiku has, that Atiku, whether we like it or not, still has the PDP political machinery. And so he can still manage to scrap votes from here, from there, and from here. Whether it's in the South, Southwest, he can scrap, not a lot of votes, but he'll be able to scrap those votes, just like Shagari. He'll be able to scrap those votes that will just take him across the line. Will he give him 2/3 majority? I don't know. But it looks like it might give him majority numbers. Hear me out. Will he give him 2/3 majority? I don't think so. But it looks like it might give him majority numbers. Tinubu has his machinery. He has the APC machinery. But the APC machinery in the North is so dependent on how, first of all, what happens with the structure around who runs this machinery. We can see clearly that the APC machinery in the North is a CPC machinery. That is where Atiku has an advantage, because the CPC machinery are just gone and stuck with him. That's all for now. Thank you.
No, wait. Hello,
May I?
Please, don't speak up on top of each other. Now you go. Are you the same person with Kenike, because your voice are similar?
I don't know any Kenike.
Oh, sorry. Your voice are similar, and also you have his talking point of people to go and sit down or go back to such a thing. So, who has a question for him? Please, if you have a question, fire.
So hold on. Are we?
Chuka, waiting they worry you now when you come this place where you just want to talk. Calm down.
You said if I have a question. I have a question.
Go and sit down first. Go and sit down.
No.
When you come
allow him to ask question. Allow him to ask question, bro.
No, I'm a question I want to ask. Checks. I want to ask. Hello, you don't do the power game. You never do the good governance game. I beg. Oh yeah. I beg. Do the good governance game. Yeah. Please.
A woman. In Nigeria, we
Look,
dey.
I have a question
In
for
this
you.
Nigeria,
No. Me, I get question.
Make
I get
una wait
question.
now. Make I finish with this, my man. Hello,
we've
beg, do
had
the
this
good
we've
governance
had this
game.
argument before, and I'll say
Don't do any argument.
no,
Do I make everybody here for
no,
here?
a
It's
woman.
recorded.
I tell you, and I'll say it again.
Yes.
Nigerians, forget the noise we make. We are not interested in good governance, so I'm not good governance.
Hello, Kado. No, don't do this. Don't do this. No, they do power analysis. Leave other analysis out. Do the good governance analysis.
Allow him
Make
to
we
answer the
get
question. I want to
Nigerians are
come
not.
with you.
I don't have. So, a woman. Let me ask you a question. Let me
Then
ask you
Then
a
how
question.
the Obi
Let
win
me ask
6
you a question.
million votes in
You're from Delta
2023?
State, Abi. You're from Delta State. You're from Delta.
Yes.
How much in the past 10 years of Delta State received from federal government?
Trillions of naira, my brother.
Yet, some people
Billions.
in Abraka are rioting about headsmen. I'm seeing one headsman, one thing. Again, are you guys interested in good governance? I beg, really ask me that question.
Some people in Kwali
Equality don't have lights.
Wait,
They
have
want
not
to
had
come and waste
light
time on good
for
governance.
more than
On what
15 years.
How did Obi win votes in Abuja? Cannot interested in
I think
good governance.
you are veering off course. You did analysis about the power game for voting patterns.
Yeah.
You can't come here and tell me that my local government delivered all polling units for Peter Obi. You're telling me I'm not interested in good governance. I take exception to that,
I didn't
please.
say you, I said Nigerians.
And that is Nigerians. And you are saying you don't do judgment for South, blah, 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 and power game. Oh, yeah, my local government vote for the last election. Do your analysis based on people who want good governance to fight the fight. Finish. I may ask you this
Them no
thing.
plenty.
Okay,
Them no
Uh-huh.
plenty.
okay,
Who be
you're my guy.
that?
You're my guy. I'm going to say this.
Uh-huh.
So if
Exactly.
you guys want good governance, right? Then you have to put in the work. I mean, obedience have put in a lot of work. Credit to them. So how do you start putting the work? We're just 2 years from 2027. By now, the obedience movement should have mapped out all the areas where they failed to get the required votes and do what? And put in resources there. And I say it again that Obi again is Obi has to. I mean, I don't know if he's running for election now. He needs to come out clearly. There's no time. No. You have less than 1.5 years to election. In fact, 2023, don't be half. We're almost at half of 2025. Nothing will happen again. This is not election season. We're in the election season, so Obi has to come out and say clearly, am I running, am I not running? If he's running, come out and put your machinery in place. But you don't get time. Obi does not have party machinery. He doesn't have political machinery. He just has organic voters here and there. And he needs to streamline. I mean, whether it's to hire KPMG or PwC for them to design a roadmap for him, I don't know. But he needs to be able to get this roadmap in play. People must come and see, man, this man is serious. So that if you go to Jigawa, you go to Sokoto, you go to Zamfara, you can see clearly that the game has changed. The obedient movement has moved away from being just not online, has moved away from just being this southern middle belt and block to a real grassroots machine. He needs to build a machine the way Buhari built a northern machine. So Obi has to build a northern machine. Of course, we can agree. Obi's ethnic group will limit him. Yeah, Igbophobia here and there. That said, I keep on telling people that the problem is not Igbophobia. The problem is that we have refused to try and have used Igbophobia as an excuse. So let Obi do that work. Let obedience do that work. And I like what the new northern guy is doing. Town by town, local government by local government. Of course, a lot of people will chase you away. But whether you like it or not, some people will listen to you. And so all you need to do is to do that groundwork. Strengthen your base in the south. Because Tinubu knows, and I'll say it again, Tinubu's biggest threat is Obi running. And Tinubu's biggest advantage is Atiku heading the coalition and Obi not running. Listen to my point. Tinubu is not bothered about Atiku. Tinubu is bothered about Obi. Because Tinubu knows that his next election, his victory is dependent on his Southern Alliance. And Obi is the biggest threat to his Southern Alliance, which is why a lot of politicians in the South don't like Obi. Because they feel that if Obi plays this game he played in 2023, they're not to grab power. And they might be correct. They might be correct. So the argument, if you talk to political machinery, they say, man, I bet no one tell Obi may rest, we'll go settle and no one tell Obi may rest. Because for me, let me just, guys, let me tell you my own bias. I don't like the idea that once the North is out of power, they can't stay 2 years without, they can't even stay 4 years out of power. They talk here and there, everybody talk say, Tinubu has failed, Tinubu has failed, Atiku has failed. And again, I don't want to hear, I don't like Tinubu. Look, like, see, people are always insulting them. So, yes, nobody that has put mouth for more than me. I don't like Tinubu for anything. But I no go fit stand say, once North come up power, we no go hear what for Nigeria. Not be 8 years, Buhari. Not be 8 years.
I was
Exactly.
saying this here,
Exactly.
I told you guys this thing. Yeah,
They
many people
complicated
don't
the
like
whole
it.
political space.
We can
Just
agree.
relax.
So let me just land
Relax, make people run.
let me
Eh?
just land by saying this.
Kai.
We can agree that Tinubu has failed. We can agree that Tinubu is a tribalist, a nepotist. Yes, he has. I'm Igbo. Tinubu has not done anything for us. He has sidelined us. Yes. He's doing everything in the southwest. Yes. He's appointing on Yoruba people. Yes. I agree with all those talking points. But those talking points will not make me change my view that, oh boy, not just rule 8 years. Wait till be this rubbish. When they talk to make Atiku come back again. Wait till be say what happened. Tinubu na devil. Tinubu no was past Buhari. In appointment, he was past. But Tinubu as economically, he's not worse than Buhari. I beg, let's tell ourselves the truth. So let's be clear. I want Nigeria to move forward. I want Nigeria to progress. I want good governance. But if you are telling me today that good governance only applies when a northerner is in power, is a lie. And that's what I'm not standing for. I see, you are telling that is rubbish to me. If you want good governance, if the North is angry and they claim to be angry, let them go and support Obi. But if you are telling me today that Igbo people should stand behind Atiku, another northerner, because we want to get power in 2027, it's a lie. Let Igbo people not get power. That one now, I will see that's a hill I'm willing to that. Instead, if it's Atiku and Tinubu Obi resting, oh boy, make we support Tinubu. He doesn't care that he insults Yoruba. It doesn't matter. Because the North cannot keep on doing this game we play.
God
Once they have
forbid
power,
God
everywhere
forbid we
scatter.
support
No.
Tinubu. God forbid.
Where is Malam Mogrin? Malam Mogrin needs
Anytime
to
you're for
come and
power, everywhere
listen to
just
this space.
I beg. I don't get for that game. Instead, make Tinubu run. See,
Allow him
Tinubu is
to
a
finish,
fool
I
for my
beg. Allow
money.
him
He's
to finish.
useless to
God
me.
forbid Tinubu runs again. God forbid we support him. I
Okay, God
repeat
forbid, no
that.
problem. God will go forbid, no problem. Tinubu is useless, we agree. Tinubu has failed the country. He has not done anything, we agree. Tinubu is tribalistic, we agree.
I can't even believe what I'm
We
hearing.
agree.
Eh?
But
I
if you're telling me
cannot
now that the
either.
only way to good governance is through the North, it's a lie.
Support Tinubu based on what? Eh?
Just come out and say you're an APC member. Just come out and say you support APC.
Wait. Chuka, don't.
Yeah,
Guys, please.
yeah. I mean, he's making a valid point now. I mean, how do you want to replace Tinubu with Atiku? For what now? Under what guys? I mean, to be honest with you, see. So on what ground do you want to run again in 20 after 8 years of Atiku, right? On what ground? Power should shift. How will you convince one person not to run when you have just jettisoned power rotation just now? If you do that, I repeat, like I said in one of the spaces yesterday, North will be in power for another 80 years and you will do nothing about it. Because they have found the formula. Get the northern bloc.
We don't know this rotation policy of this new party. What if it is a 4-year rotation? North will go 4 years, South will go
When the
4
time
years.
reaches, they will invoke
Do
the
you know
constitution.
PDP did the same thing?
There's
That's
no
8 years for
new
one North,
party
8
anywhere.
years for another South.
Tina, there's no new party anywhere. It happened in PDP, right? The
No,
original
this
constitution.
coalition, are we not joining a new
The original constitution was that it was 4 years. What was his name? Obasanjo was supposed to do a 4 years, hand over to another person. Atiku wanted to run in 2003. Obasanjo remembered that the constitution allowed him to do second tenure. So when the
So
time,
this one, all these concerns are valid, though. So I believe these coalition
I
leaders
have a question.
they can
I have a
enshrine
question,
this
please.
as a
My
memorandum of
question is,
understanding and ratify it by
eh?
law. This thing
So,
can be discussed and can
my
arranged.
issue is
You
actually
should not
that
condescend and be calling Tinubu,
let's
please.
imagine Atiku wins in 2027 and does his 8 years and surprisingly gives Obi power, right? Obi does 4 years and another northern maybe Erufa Okwankwaso.
No. If one
Wait
Northerner
now,
has done 8
wait.
years, Obi has to do 8
Hold
years.
on, hold on, hold
Yes.
on, hold on. Then another northern maybe Erufai Kwankwaso or Nuhuribado, Malam, Bagudu. We take a southwestern, a Yoruba person, and take power from Obi, and northern we do 8 years. Like it doesn't make sense. That will be the new formula, okay? It doesn't make sense at all. It doesn't at all. And I said it here earlier on that many persons.
There's no verse. 1 second. You're even making a terrible mistake, right? See, to imagine that Atiku will do 8 years, right? And after he does 8 years, you hand over to B. That's actually a mirage. You can mirror what the government will look like. He will be too old. The government will be a disaster. And these other people will be in opposition. What's their name? They are Kwankwaso people. Will be in opposition, sounding the drum that Atiku has failed, that they need to chart a new course. And mind the Atiku won't put skin to Rick Obi or to deliver him. And he will win. He will win and take over. So you don't even have to be an Obi takeover and 4 years. No. If Obi is in power in 4 years, I don't think another party will win him if there's no sentiment around him. But I'm telling you that the person will directly take over from Atiku will be another Northern. Because you have destroyed every argument about power rotation. In a case he gets power today or the next election, you have destroyed the argument. You have said, let us forget about power rotation and focus on good government. So after 4 years, you not tell them, after 8 years, you not tell them, let us begin to think about power rotation again. That is what you people should even be considering.
Okay. Chukudimana, what about the people saying that if Obi go 4 years now, if he's the leader of the coalition, you understand? What about those people that are having that concern that he may actually want to do 8 years?
So
Will I
Again,
be
tell
it.
him not
So
to
be it.
go?
Why not? If he
And
does
yeah,
it,
I
yes.
can't stop him from not going. So
again,
all this
So
conversation
and then sorry,
can be
Alpha,
accommodated.
1 second. So
We
so
can
the
accommodate
reality is
all the whole
that
conversation.
no, Tina, wait. No,
Tina.
no. This is it. Sorry,
Malama,
Alpha, 1 second,
okay.
please. 1 second, please. So the point here is that Obi does 4 years. If you have enough power, the opposition has enough power to put Obi there and to make him president. They have the power to remove him as well. So it's not even up to Obi to say he wants to extend his tenure. If he does 4 years and people think, okay, this 4 years is enough, then you vote against him. It's very simple. So there's no, we are talking as if, one president has power to hold on to power. I mean, we, as desperate as Tinubu is and as powerful as he thinks he is, are people not trying to come together to remove him? That's even about the most desperate politician that is alive currently. People are still trying to plot to remove him. So not to talk of somebody who is
Okay,
even saying that
Malam.
he's not desperate to be president. So
Okay,
you
Malam,
remove
what me
him
I'm
if
saying
you
is that
think he...
can they reach an agreement that can be ratified by the law that for 4 years, north and south, for 4 years, north and south, with this new
No, no, no,
coalition
no. That will not
and
be
put
fair.
it into their constitution
No, no, no.
for four
That will
years?
not be
Nobody must
fair
go against
because
it.
that will not be fair because
There
it's
has to
actually
be a balance. Everybody
no,
has
so
concern.
and that's what we're talking about. No, 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 that will not be fair because the point is that honestly, I think this be fantasizing about the possibility of Atiku's presidency. I think people should just bury it. Honestly, I know we have a lot of issues, but you trying to suggest and bring Atiku into the conversation that somehow
Okay,
he can emerge
this is what we
does
are
not
saying
make
now.
sense to me, and it will never make
Anybody,
sense.
either Atiku or Obi, what I'm saying is that this new coalition, their constitution should just state it that for 4 years, north and south, whoever it is, north and south for 4 years, not do this one 4 years, south take it.
Oh, have you
Not
not
this.
heard
It doesn't matter
from
anywhere it goes to, but
But
just
will
be
they
north south
agree?
for
Amechi?
4 years.
Will anybody
One
Have
agree?
you not?
second. 1 second. Very a little bit noisy. 1 second. So, Tina, if you do it, are you going to sign the person in the party? I mean, the person will leave your party and go to another party. It's constitutional
What do
right.
you say? No, if the party is doing the let me tell you, Chukudima, I believe this party should be built on good governance. If they continue to deliver, like I'm not even saying if they can deliver 50% of what we need, you understand? I want to see the amount of propaganda you want to use to bring the government down. So
No,
for
that's
four
not what
years,
I'm
it's
Yes,
still
saying.
even
That's not
balanced
what
for
I'm
any
saying.
yes,
If
it's
you're
political
putting
party
important.
for
We
four
don't
president,
have
years.
that 4 years, north
if
and
you're
south.
putting
It's 8
president,
years.
if you're
Please
putting
face
president there,
realities.
If you are saying it's north and south and your sitting president goes against you, what are you going to do? I mean, there's nothing you're going to do. If the party in power says he's not going to run, he will move to another party now.
Exactly.
My own is, hey, look, I have a question. So let me ask you this question. My question is, you talked about power game, the South is putting out Jose Carlo as a president, Senate president as an example, right? Tinubu showing
Yeah,
commitment.
example. Yeah, yeah. Not,
Yes. We played that game right from 1999 to 2015, and this same elite could not do any tangible infrastructural projects. They could not achieve presidential position. They could not achieve VP. This Any of these three core things, they could not achieve any of them. So, of what use is that um, game to us? Because my basic concern regarding 2027 is Eastern Economic Corridor, right?
mm.
So, how has that game helped us?
So I mean, you're asking a question.
Knowing that we played it for about
Yeah,
16 years.
yeah, yeah. You're asking
Mm.
a question. You're asking a question that I've answered before on my timeline, and I'll say it. I'll say it again. The problem is not aligning or aligning. I mean, and when I made this answer, I was answering all these guys. Oh, we need to align with the North. I said this alignment thing is rubbish. I've talked about it so many times. We've aligned. The problem is our selection process, and so if you want to select leaders, where do you start from? You start from where? Because we are a village democracy people, we start from the village. You guys know very well that in your own meetings, if you want to choose the president, you don't choose the drunkard. You choose the person everybody will listen to, Abi. But what we have done in our politics is that we've allowed charlatans be the ones ruling us. And so, I mean, if you want to fix that problem, you have to fix it from our own cultural idiosyncrasy, which is we are a village democracy people. We did not build sophistication to become an empire where one man sits and chooses. No, the people choose. So if you say we are aligned, not a problem, or we don't align, the point remains that you must have politicians who are willing to speak and do the work for Igbo people. Do we have them in government? We have some here and there. Do I think they are doing enough? No. But my argument, again, this conversation is not about what we need to do to fix our political process. Because the truth of the matter is that all politicians are useless. Whether they are Igbo, there is no politician in Nigeria that's done anything for their people. Even Tinubu is not doing anything for anybody. He's doing something, he's doing things for, again, his friends. But he's not really doing anything for anybody. Buhari was there for 8 years. He didn't do anything for people in Katsina. Nobody in Katsina banditry won't finish them there. He didn't do anything for anybody. So let's be careful not to set different standards for ourselves. Jonathan was VP and president. Did he do anything for Ijaw people? He didn't even finish East West Road. He didn't finish it. So let's be clear. So the conversation here is not to fix getting the right people into power. My conversation here is power. Whether we do anything with the power is a different conversation. I didn't come here to explain what we need. No, we're not explaining that. They are not doing, I'm not a good governance. If you want power, this is what we need to do. But if we say we want good governance, how am I? I'm just one person. A lot of people tell me I'm always people.
But
Yeah.
my brother, whether you play power game or Champions League or Premier League,
Or Game of
I don't see
Thrones.
our Game of Thrones. I don't see a scenario where Tinubu becomes a rallying point for Southeasterners.
Why? Why can't you
It can
see?
Even
happen.
Tinubu,
Oh. Give Atiku the ticket first.
Why don't
he will not. He will not.
Hey, look,
why?
I have a
Give
question for
Atiku
you,
the
please.
ticket first.
Why?
Can I?
Give
No.
Atiku the ticket the first, and they'll be his VP. Then you will see it happen.
Please, can I
And
ask a
Atiku
anyway,
and
question? Just
Obi
1 minute,
want
please,
Anyway,
if I
again.
may.
there will rather be voter apathy. There will be a lot of voter apathy. But honestly, it's difficult
Yes,
to see
and Southeast will deliver
Southeasterners
for him.
rally, no matter what game you call it.
See,
It's
just
difficult.
forget it. If you like, give Atiku ticket. If you like, give Atiku ticket. If not, you see Tinubu, he will not get anything in the southeast.
Southeast
Simple.
is not.
I
I
mean,
They
have
are
you
to
not
say
guys,
going
it
to
Let me
you
vote
tell.
for
guys
again. Oh,
Don't
are
let me
Tinubu.
just,
say it
I mean,
again.
don't
Plenty
say
people
yes.
don't get
Now
it.
let me tell you.
I mean, you
Let me
guys
tell
are
you.
actually,
Tinubu got
you guys are,
Let me tell you.
62,000
you guys are
votes
Let
living.
from
me
my
tell you.
state, Imo State.
See,
You
let
guys
me tell
are
you.
living.
Tinubu will not get anything from the southeast. I'm
Wait,
Tinubu
telling
you
you
guys
got
are
this.
calm
living.
Why?
down.
This guy, this man has sponsored people against the tribe. This is a man that told the Oba of Lagos that he will throw the Igbos into the lagoon. He never said a word. Look, nothing. See,
Can I?
Tinubu's rhetorics
May
will
I?
be played in the
May I
southeast.
counter that?
Forget all these things you are saying.
Let
You see
me
those
let me
Tinubu
say
rhetorics.
it now first.
What
Calm
happened
down.
in
Let
Edo
me
State
say it first.
where what they call it, or Oshomole was destroying Izeyamu. When he came for 2020 election, they did not even listen. They were just playing his state for him. This is what Oshomole was telling you.
Okay.
Even
Let me
when
ask you
Ogbudu got
again.
angry.
Let me
Yes,
ask you.
ask me what? Ask me what?
Did you expect
Look,
Tinubu to get?
Kwankwaso,
Are you awake?
Kwankwaso will defeat Tinubu
Okay,
in Southeast.
okay, no
Bet me.
problem. I've heard you. Wait. Are you aware that Tinubu got 60?
Tyson, 1 second before you go. Famsi, you see this thing you are saying, it was
Mm.
still the same perception that about El Rufai, but some people are now trying to present him to look different today. When
El-Rufai
talking
will
on the
beat
story,
Tinubu in
I mean,
Southeast.
when the time comes, a story will change, right? El Rufai has
Okay?
said a lot of nonsense about Southeast. I mean, a lot of insulting things.
No, El-Rufai has
For
not. See, El-Rufai has not openly just come out to just look.
guy,
Even when the
Tinubu, see,
election, wait,
wait, Fancy, 1 second.
listen.
There's a lot of noise here. I cannot remember one instance, minus in his Miloko speech, where he mentioned that that if Buhari had chosen a pope, the Igbos would not have supported him. I can't remember.
Do you know the fight
Wait,
Tinubu?
calm down.
Do you
Now let
know?
me just say this thing. I mean, it's very noisy, please. I want to hand over the mic. Just 1 second. I can't remember instances where Tinubu has actually said anything directly against the Southeasterners. I'm just telling you, this is me. But if you go about Erufai, I can give you instances upon instances, and I can provide video evidence. I listen to him, not that
Now,
someone told me. I
now,
mean, I will
I
provide a lot
want.
of instances. So many
I,
denigrating nonsense. But I mean, people are trying to be okay with him because you want to play the power game. Then you are not saying that they cannot play with people in power already.
See,
I mean,
let me
I
tell you
want to
something.
remind
Let
us,
me tell you something.
Famsis,
Alfonso, let me tell you something here. Tinubu in 2015, two Yorubas, Agbaje and what they call Ambode, two Yorubas who they were busy tussling for power. They melted
Igbo
vengeance on the
people.
Southeast.
I know.
Are
Wait,
you
you
see?
are
Please
going
listen. No,
far.
wait. 2015. Oh,
wait,
I'm telling
Fancy,
you what happened
Tinubu
after
conquered
this
the
thing you are
Southeast.
saying. You are still
Fancy,
going
See,
back 10 years ago. Let
Fancy,
me tell you. Are you
Fancy,
let me
aware?
tell you that anger. See, let me tell you
Famsis.
something. Number one,
Guys, and
see,
30 seconds.
listen.
Guys, and 30 seconds. Fancy, let me tell you
Mm,
this. I
mm,
listened to what happened in that time. Those
mm.
delegations were led by late Senator Ifeanyi Oba to go and meet Oba of Lagos. When Oba of Lagos later apologized, saying I was high on origin, right? I listened to it. Even
He
Tinubu
never
himself.
apologized.
Famsis.
Calm down, calm down.
Famsis.
No. He did apologize now. Calm down now. I followed the. I mean, I was even.
Show me the
There, I
video
don't
where he
think there's any
apologized.
Nigeria
Show me
election.
the video
I
where he
mean, you
apologized.
cannot be
I don't
having
know. A
this
lot
thing
of
now. I
people
He
mean,
only
come
said
Famsi,
they
say
allow
we are
me
misquoted
just
him.
talk.
doing.
He said they misquoted him.
What's
Don't
this
be.
now? What's this? Allow me just 30 seconds. You can rebut me later, please. I beg you. There was, I think, to be honest with you, he did apologize. That is what I know. I read about it. I follow. I don't think there's any election I followed like 2015. Not even this last one, right? If you ask me, right, I listened to what happened there. Even Tinubu himself was angry. I mean, his response to that this thing was actually negative. He responded even before the vote was actually counted. I mean, the vote actually happened. And he said that, I mean, I can go back and, because that time I was having punch. That was in 20. I was reading almost every article. I can remember some of the things he said, right? In good faith, to be fair to him, you may not even credit those things to him because when it happened, it's not even like now that he has inquired. He didn't say anything about Bayo or Nonoga. He said a lot of things, and he said that that is not the position, that they have never had problem with the Igbos and all those things. And he said it that time. So if that exactly is what people want to use in that regard, to be honest with you, if you are standing Tinubu tomorrow in an election in 2031, 2027, and the other ticket of coalition, they say it's El Rufai that has the ticket of the other coalition. I kid you not, Tinubu will win the whole of Southeast, except nobody voted. Or if you make it two-party system, except nobody, I mean, except people go and vote, Tinubu will win Southeast. I can tell you that in
See,
good faith.
Now,
see.
Famsi, let me talk. May I talk, please? Now, I want to
Yeah,
remind
Tex,
us
are you
that
there? Tex, are you there?
Tinubu will never win
Tex,
Southeast, please. Let's be
let
reasonable.
me
Tinubu
Tex,
talk
are you
cannot
now.
there?
get
Calm down.
Please
enough
control
votes.
your
Look,
space now.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. I'm
Yeah,
here.
go on. I'm not. I'm
Let
not.
me
Control
I'm
answer.
not
your
here.
space now.
I'm not. I
Let me
mean, which one
talk.
to control your space? Calm down. You just came up now. A lot. All these people that came up have not said anything. Calm down. Checks. I beg. Over to you. Yeah, and I'm listening.
Yeah. Okay, so see, you guys should stop sounding as if Southeasterners hate Tinubu. Our issue is with APC and not Tinubu. Stop saying that Tinubu will never win Southeast. That is not the issue. The issue we have is with Tinubu, with APC and not Tinubu.
I
Thank you.
just
Who is
tell
not on
them
the
bring
line?
the wrong alternative and see. I mean, PDP took it for granted that they will always win Southeast, and it was clear to them APC won them in the last election in Southeast in presidential election, and beat them in everything that in that federal election, in everything, number of representatives, number of senators, number of anything. So I mean, you people should stop all this thing about as if there is anything. Both of them, I mean, one politician was in PDP, moved to APC. Has it changed? The same person, the same everything, the same person we know. So it's just, I mean, it's not a case of it's not like people are seeing him like he's the Satan or he's anything. The thing is that most times we do not vote leaders who are sectional. That is why we never supported Buhari and we do not support Tinubu. They have this regional and sectional mindset, so it's very difficult to support them in Southeast. But in a case you bring him and put him against another sectional person, and there's no alternative, I do not think they will. And you also have another thing that this guy is already in power. This is what you are not even. Whatever you are asking for, you are negotiating for with a Tinubu, for example. You are 60% having assurance because it's already there. He's more likely going to listen to you in a case you have something to bargain with. Now, someone is outside power. He has not even gotten into power. You don't know the agreement he has reached with other people. So, the essence of it is Tinubu will not do second tenor anyway. There's no pathway to him to do second tenor. But if they have the wrong candidate, there's a problem. So for me, but Njenje didn't talk about the good government. I mean, upon all that a woman was pressing him, he refused to talk about it. I'm on checks. I mean, back to you, Abeg.
Yeah, please let the conversation flow. Who is next?
Me, I don't even know. I
Timmy.
don't know who is next.
Oh no, it should be Choka fast. Choka, go ahead. Choka.
No, Chukada just came up. Kaizen.
Oh no, nah.
Huh?
Yeah, no.
I don't.
So Choka is here before Kaizen,
He
please.
came up before Kaizen.
Choka is here before Kaizen.
Then Malambati side
Yeah. Choka, go ahead.
and a woman came before all of them.
Yeah, a woman, have you spoken?
The woman has not said anything in this space.
Then a woman can go. Then after a woman, not Malam, Choka. Please. A woman, please go ahead.
Okay,
Okay,
sorry.
yeah.
Yes, I think that
Yeah.
Kaizen wanted to speak. Kaizen and Wins.
Eloka, you did not finish. Enoka, you not finish my this thing. You talked about that, and thank God you brought the conversation back, Alpha. Yes, you came back to okay. What's the good governance route? We talked about grassroots machinery, KPMG roadmaps, strengthen your base. You didn't do. You just skimmed all over it. When you were talking about power, you were addressing every region, the different pros and cons. When it came to Google that, you just skimmed over it. So I don't go agree. Give us the same quality that you gave Power Game, please. I beg. Thank you.
A woman,
Yes.
I beg. This one way.
Eloka, you did space of 100 and something people. No do you do yourself. I don't catch you for here.
A woman, I've not conceptualized good governance. I beg, just
No,
please.
I said the good governance. I say for us, we want our election strategy. What you talk? I don't talk about the governor. I
Checks,
talk
bring
about
up
for
JJ.
us,
Checks.
for
I
us.
don't.
Checks
Yeah, yeah.
NG, please bring up JJ.
I don't bring
Give
up.
us about give
Let me
us
get
our own
now. I don't get
roadmap,
anything for
please.
good governance.
No,
Check NG,
Eloka,
bring
that
up
is not
JJ.
fair. Eloka, you get time, you get all the energy, don't drink coffee for where you dey. No analyze power. Give me power. I don't know whether you dream see wiki where you talk this one. I dey press your neck for roadmap for good governance. You dey tell me KPMG and PwC and wetin they call am Boston Consulting. My brother, Eloka, you don't come out here without talking that one. No. Tell us which will be grassroots machinery and strengthen your base KPNG. Oh yeah. The conversation can flow, but I will still come back to this point. I
Yeah.
know one day for that one. Thank you.
Please
But honestly,
checks,
for me,
bring up Gege. Checks, bring up
sorry,
Gege.
yeah, for me, I think that APC's nightmare is really Peter Obi. If you really look at the calculation, the fact that Tinubu knows he has lost the North, he's not going to, even if he gets votes, he's not going to have his performance is not going to be anywhere close to what he had in 2023. And then, so he knows that he must have a strong showing in the South. He
See,
must have a very strong showing in the South.
Malambati side, why I'm sorry for cutting you, why I'm pressing, and guys, this is important, so no verse. Why I'm pressing a local like this is because, see, there are some things he pointed out. I'm from the South. You see, when he was talking about political machinery, party machinery, there's a reason Jagaban is coming through the South. You know why? The South has a theater of violence across the states. Now, I've been to all the states in the South. I'm from Delta. Hello, can know me. Edo, Delta, BY, Rivers, Akwa Ibom, CR. There are some non-state actors that exist within the space. Now, I'm not saying they're not in other regions, but there's a peculiarity about the South. So anybody that is doing that analysis, you understand, you need to address how do you want to counter these non-state actors? Because that thing that Wike did, I mean, so, and like Checks has said, you don't want to come and start scaring people and on all that, But there is a way in the region to resist it. It's difficult, yes, but it needs to be highlighted on so people understand, because it is like no matter as you say you won't buy people rich, you still get people who get strong head, who wants to resist. You understand? So that's why I am pressing Eloka, to take a deep dive on the South side, because as you guys are seeing, that is where Jagaban is trying to hit us from. And I know my bridge
No
on, you
matter,
understand? And I know my bridge
no
on, you
matter, no
understand?
matter what he does, no matter what
Yeah.
he does, Jagaban's southern, I mean, the strategy to consolidate the
Solidarity.
South would be roundly defeated and maybe destroyed once Peter Obi decides to contest. Let's all of us. We need to agree on that fact. Once Peter Obi decides to contest, then Jagaban needs to find another strategy. It's no longer going to be I would consolidate South and then hope for 25% in the North, because that's the game now. That's why all the governors are defecting and all of that. He wants to consolidate South and make sure he has all the numbers and win, roundly, and soundly in the South. And then then maybe some votes in the North Central, and then hope for 25% in the North, right? That can only work if Peter Obi is not on the ballot. But as soon as Peter Obi uh, finds a way to, maybe the coalition says, okay, it's now the head, you will see that the strategy will change. APC would go gaga, right? So, I mean, the people I don't know why people are still wasting time trying to dilly-dally whether this or that. It's very clear. There's a very high risk that, if you combine the momentum behind Peter Obi to all the, problems that APC has created, particularly under this government, there's a high risk that they would struggle in 2027. But if you put a northerner, I mean, you are just a comedian. If you think, well, somehow a northerner will be able to remove Tinubu in 2027. I'm not talking about 2031, please. 2027. No, it's not going to happen.
Can you guys allow me to
Let me.
ask Ebuka a question if I go? Just, I won't take more than a minute, please. Ebuka, I listened to you attentively and I have nothing to say about your submission, but I have a question to ask. You said, um, I think you have a gross to settle with the Northerners because, according to you, or they are power hungry. I have no defense for them. I'm not a Northerner, but I have a question for you. What could be our, let me speak on our regional interests now as Southeastern people or Igbo people. What will be our interest supporting Tinubu or allowing Tinubu to curtail to 2031 if Atiku or any other northerner is the coalition candidate? What will be our interest? I'm not talking about good governance. I am not Kaduna and Zogo. I am not the savior of Nigeria or Messiah. I don't care about good governance now, but I'm talking about regional interest. What will be your interest, our interest as a region, allowing Tinubu to continue until 2031? Thank you and God bless you.
Luka. The question is for you.
Mr. Give me
Sorry,
power.
what's the question?
Eh?
Sorry, I was out.
Mr.
What was the question? Who asked me the question? Sorry, just go ahead.
Ebuka wins. Now me ask you the question.
Okay, what will be your question, Abeg?
I say, I listen to you attentively. Why I have nothing to say about your opinion, but I know you have a grudge to settle with Northerners because you believe they are power hungry. But I have a question to ask you. What will be our regional interest as Igbo people or Southeastern people allowing Tinubu or supporting Tinubu in 2027 if a Northerner, say Atiku or any other Northerner is a coalition candidate? What will be our interest supporting Tinubu? Let's not just go to the polling unit. Let me finish now.
Okay.
We will not just go polling unit, go vote because we know like this person. Going to the polling, you need to vote for interest, not because you hate somebody or you like somebody. Policy is not about love. I don't care about love. I don't want you to love me. It's all about interest. It's business. What will be our political objective if we support, or economic objective if we support Tinubu or allowing Tinubu to continue to 2031? That's the question. It's not about if you like Northerners or you hate Northerners.
Nna
I believe I
so
answered this question.
Nna one second, let me ask you, so that I don't really know, because let me ask you, on this matter, right, don't you think that the Northerners are trying to play the power game here by fronting their whoever it is to take over? Why some of us, they are convincing us to play the good government game in name of alliance? Because that's what I'm seeing with what the coalition is looking like. Some people are playing the power game. They want to take over power by anything, right? They want to rally the sentiments of those who want good government and probably being angry against the Tinubu administration by offering probably another person that you can't not necessarily guarantee that will bring good government. But again, it's all about removing people in power, because they did it in 2015, right? And it worked. Some folks voted for Buhari. House of Jonathan has not done well. But it was a northern power game. They wanted the power and they saw the alliance. Are you thinking, in a case, don't you think it's the same case if they really want to do that? And for maybe Southeast or even South or any other region that decides to buy into this alliance of having a northerner, because just like you said, if anybody is angry with Tinubu on the basis of bad government, he should be able to vote Obi, not minding where he's from. But if you need a northerner, does it not mean they are playing a power game and want to rally the emotions of people who don't like him and say they're asking for good government?
This question is complex. This conversation is a complex conversation, and I said it earlier that for you to win politically, you need organic support, and you need party and political machinery. And you can bring in all those other variables, anger, sentiments, regional voting bloc, ethnicity, all those things, you put them in the pot and you mix it, and it gives you power. But let me answer Wayne's point. And you've asked a good question. So I'm not an Igbo leader. I just gave an opinion. So Igbo people will sit down and say, okay, what is our prognosis like? And you have three options. Do we support Atiku? And if Atiku loses, what happens? So you'll be checking them up. What will be the fallback? And if he wins, what happens? What are we negotiating with him? First question. That's what Igbo intellectuals and elites should do, not people like me. Second question is, if we support Tinubu, what happens? What are we getting from him? And I said it here, that I've looked at the political candidates. The most vulnerable is who? Tinubu. And this is an opportunity to squeeze his balls. And I said the first thing we need to do to show good faith is tell him, hey, where you? Remove Akpabio. Again, this is not sentiment. This is not saying we are trying to cause Igbo and South. Those things are irrelevant emotional conversations. Irrelevant one. We're not trying to cause anything. We're trying to play for power. You understand? Because even in South, they share their votes. They didn't want to put all their baskets in one and vote to be. This, which is what we should have done in 2015. We should have divided our votes and given Jonathan half. But we put all our baskets and gave Jonathan. In 2023, they didn't put all their baskets because that's not the way politics is played. They shared it. Obi will give you most of it. Take.
Hello, Ka, don't
Hey,
worry.
let me finish my point. I
We'll
don't remember I say something.
repay.
You start getting it. Make I just finish my point. So the question we need to ask ourselves as Igbo people is, what do we want? Again, I don't like bringing good governance because anytime I hear good governance, it looks like it's only obedience that want good governance. And so therefore, I'm not in the good governance journey again. I've left it for a woman, then let them be fighting good governance. I know they will that game with them. But if we want power, we have to really sit down and say, okay, what are our options? Remember, the South people are aligning for 2031. That's why they are saying we will support Tinubu. Not because of there's any good governance they're bringing to them. There's no good governance anywhere. So if we as Igbo people want to play this power game, we will sit and say, no sentiments, no attachment. We will say we have, in fact, in Nigeria, we are the only group that votes in one way. As of now, we are the only group. So it means that you have unencumbered 3 to 4 million votes sitting down in the East. Then if you add all Igbo votes across Nigeria, maybe now 1.52 million. So we can tell Tinubu, this is what we have. But to show good faith, remove Akpabio. It's not that we don't like Akpabio, we don't like South. This is just simply power. There are no emotions here. Because Akpabio, them will do it. They will do it. Because at the end of the day, when Tinubu won, they say Igbo no vote Tinubu. Why we go give them Senate president? South, we did this, we did that. We put in the game. Igbo people already APC. And they gave Akpabio. When you ask them how many votes Akpabio brought, you don't even know. How many votes the Annan people give to Tinubu? It's not, I can't even see it. This article win Akwa Ibom. You get? So, these are the things. You will not come and tell Tinubu, okay, Tinubu, what are you going to do for the Eastern Economic Corridor? We need XYZ. We need XYZ. This is what you table and say, okay, if you can show us good faith within now and 2027, yes, we can commit to give you XYZ amount of votes. Because, like I said, Tinubu is vulnerable because he needs a Southern alliance to beat whoever the North is going to produce. So these are the conversations. Now, if you say it's not Tinubu you want, okay, no problem. Go to Atiku. But Atiku cannot guarantee anything because Atiku does not have power. Yes.
Are you listening to me?
I
Can
can
you
hear
hear
you.
me? See, my issue with you is that you are directing this space to another thing.
No.
Something else. First of all, you should be aware that this is not Igbo space. This is number one.
Yep.
First of all, you should be aware. No, please, let me speak, please. You should be aware that this is not Igbo space. That is number one. And your speech, the level you are going is a bit disrespectful to many people here. We do respect. I am Igbo man from Anambra State, but I want to be honest, or to put the record straight. Secondly, these obedience are not Igbos.
Good governance
Per se.
advocate.
Igbos are in obedience, I'm not Igbo. Let me speak, this guy. And non-Igbos are here. So my brother, are you telling us that obedience or P2B is everything is about Igbo power grab? Please, the topic here is about P2B. And P2B is not Igbo candidate. P2B is contesting the candidate of Nigeria as the Nigerian president. And it's not all about Igbo. However, if you want to, this your speech, I will not condemn it, but also I will not endorse it. If you want this type of speech, it should be made in Igbo space, in Southeast or Igbo space.
But
That is where you
yeah, but
address
checks.
them
But
and
you
how
guys
to do
allowed
their
someone.
destiny. But as far as we are concerned here, as far as this
Yeah.
space is concerned, it's about you to be an obedience. And the direction of your speech, let's be honest here, is a bit disrespectful.
But you're making a wrong
To many
comment
people.
at the wrong time, because this guy asked me a question on what should Igbo people do. You should have said, no, don't ask this question.
He asked you a question based on what you
No,
said
then
before.
you shouldn't
His question
have
is
allowed him asking that question.
no, listen to me, bro. Listen. Bro, you came here, you came to this space because I was there when you came. And all your speech is about Igbos. These Igbos. P2B is not just about Igbos. Please, those who work.
He touched on every
You didn't listen
angle on
again. You didn't even
the
listen
candidate.
again.
No, no, I don't like this. I don't like the direction of his speech.
Checks, you're making an argument that is not being made. You allowed someone asking a funny question, and I'm answering the question. You're not getting.
No, bro. The question he asked to you was based on your previous this thing. Please, personally, I am not comfortable with this. You are not telling the South people here that they do not matter. That is what you are saying, and it's not acceptable. If you are on Igbo only space, we can give Igbo people this advice. But once we have other Nigerians, we even have Yoruba people here who are also obedient. So you are telling them that obedience is all about the interest of the Igbos and P2B. It's not acceptable, I beg. It's not fair. Thank you.
Hey, look, they want you to speak on good governance approach.
Eloka, very good for Eloka, very good for you.
Sorry, hold on. Again,
It should be my turn to speak, Abi.
let me just what Check said. Again, I do not like disingenuous. This is, again, let's be clear. I never said I'm unobedient. You guys allowed. I analyzed all the options, all the political groups, and I came to a point and said, someone asked me, what should the South do? I said, simple. If we say we want power, this is how you do it. Everybody will do it. Buhari came in 2015. Everybody knows Buhari was a retard, a dullard. But to defeat Jonathan, you had to go and bring a machinery with power. And the person was Buhari. Irrespective of what we thought about him, Buhari could get votes. And so did not play the power game. And I'm saying here clearly, if you ask me a personal question of what does the Southeast need to do to become relevant? The answer is simple. Power. Do I know emotions to this? I mean, Ojoka was crying to become senator. Like, how can you be crying? What?
You have 1 minute. You have 1 minute to round up, please.
You don't allow me to talk.
1 minute.
I mean.
No, you have been speaking here for more than 30 minutes. What are you saying?
You are being emotional.
See,
and I don't be honest. Emotional people. I mean, you're being emotional. That's the truth. You should not allow.
I will not impose my opinion on you, but you are redirecting the topic of this space. Check the topic again. You came here and you're telling us that South should show it, that you should remove Akpabio. It does not. Please, stop. You guys should stop this thing. If you go to Igbo space, if you go to Turkey space, please speak in this manner. This is obedient space and not Igbo space. There are other people here. Stop telling us that P2B is all about Igbos. And as you said, you are not obedient. So you know almost nothing about P2B. Then why all these things? And you are not giving the APC talking point that P2B is all about the Southeast and the interest of the Southeast. That is your talking point here.
Sorry, Chukwudima.
Please, next person should go.
Not me now. Supposed to speak since it's Chuka facts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Okay, we're not gonna talk gonna be for the topic of the room, so you don't go vex.
Don't bite your tongue, speak English.
Oh my God, shit.
No.
Make us speak.
You are free to talk about Southeast, but do not make this space about Southeast. And if you are talking about Southeast, do not try to talk down on other regions or other people. That is what the NjenjeMedia did, which I am not happy about. We should not tell South do not matter. That is the talking point here. This statement, you made it more than 5 times.
Again, if you want to play the power game, you have to play the power game. It's not about
This
talking
is
down
not the thing
anybody. It's
that
about
it is.
saying this is what we want. I mean, what? I mean, I'm trying to understand
Uh,
this.
48 rounds of power, powerful man. Please, Joker, go ahead.
Guys, is the coalition an attempt to strip Obi of his support base? So, what's more important in Nigeria right now? Is it to get power out of APC, or is it to make sure Peter has his support base but he loses the election? That's what I want to ask people because everything we don't talk for here is confusing to me. I even heard well, this is what made me come up. Are we insinuating that we're going to do a three-horse race again? I pray to God because if you want to lose a OB support base, I dare him to run when Tinubu and Atiku's running. I dare him to run. His support base will wither to nothing. You can't do this mind trick with people where you want us to do the same thing again, but we're gonna come and expect a different result. God damn it. God. So we're gonna do the same thing, we go get different results. I mean, that's what you want to. Sometimes Nigerians, if you want good governance, you have to get the power first. Everything we're complaining about, everything we're trying to canvas on, we have to focus on getting power. I even was seeing somewhere on YouTube that Obi is even thinking about, or we're pushing, because we're the one bullying Obi. We're pushing Obi out of the coalition. I pray to God that's not true. I pray to God in heaven that it's not true because if he does that, there is no pathway to power for Obi. Hmm? There's no pathway to power. Let's not deceive ourselves. Anybody that's telling Obi to run when Tinubu, who's an incumbent under APC, and Atiku's running, both of them are running, and you want Obi to run, and you're telling people that they should donate their money to Obi so he can win, you're a fraud. You're a fraudster. You're a scammer. I say that with my full chest because you know that he will not win. Some people actually care about winning, not his support base, not his political relevancy. Some people actually care about making sure that APC doesn't come back to power. That's what we should be talking about is how can Peter Obi's support base work in a way to where Tinubu doesn't come back to power and APC loses? Not this nonsense of, well, if this person's going to run, then I'm going to vote for Tinubu and I'm going to do. I don't know what's wrong with Nigerians. We put the cart before the horse. We put the cart before the horse. We don't know how to do things in order. I please God in heaven. I understand that there's some psychopaths in here that is Peter Obi or death. They don't care. They don't think that there's no one else in the whole universe that can actually provide good governance. Their brain is warped to where it's only Obi. After Jesus is Obi mindset. Me and many growing amount of people, we want Tinubu to go. And there's no way in hell that anybody's going to finesse us to vote for Tinubu because of, are we really talking about North South? This is the thing that we don't understand about Nigeria. You know? The North doesn't care about none of that stupid ass convention that we do. It's only us in the South that care. Ever since 1999, Buhari has been running, hasn't he? He even ran against Yaradua. Someone tell me I'm lying. During the turn, when it was the turn of the South, didn't the Northerner run? They don't care. This whole mindset of North South, Christian Muslim, this please cancel it because the North is always going to try and get power. They will never rest. That's what they should do. You know why they care about getting power? Because they understand the value that getting power has. It's only us in the South, especially us in the Southeast, South. We think power, who cares about power? Who cares? Well, yeah, okay, get all the power. Power hungry people. Yeah. We talk so stupidly sometimes. We're
You
the
guys
one that
insulting
complain.
people
We
here. Yes,
we
you
are the
guys
one.
won't caution him.
We are the
You
one.
guys
We are
won't caution
Stop
him.
cursing.
continue.
You stop cursing people, please. Don't
We
do
are the
that.
one. We're the one complaining the most.
You will not
No, no,
babble us
no.
like that.
Hold on.
You
We
will not do
complain the
that.
most,
You
but
will
we're the
not
one that
babble
don't care
us like
about
that. You're
power.
not going to
Isn't
speak
that
to us.
stupid?
Please, Dr. TJ, please give him a minute. So can you have a minute to round up your nonsense, please?
Are we
But
the one that we're the one that's complaining about power the most? We're the one that's complaining about bad good governance, right? We're the ones that's complaining the most. Let me not say Igbo because people will get offended. Let me say South, Southeast, and part of Middle Belt. We're the one that's complaining about power the most, but we're the one that say, "I don't care about power. Who cares about it?" Isn't that madness? Let me tell you, we have to get the power first. We have to go back into the corridors of power. None of this 100 or nothing mindset. We take, if it's not OP, then there's nothing. If we don't give it this way, then there's nothing. Please. What we're doing is we're setting up ourselves for failure. And we know that if we are in the corridors of power, it will help Nigeria grow. We need to get back inside. Let's get back inside the door. Right now, we're outside of the door making demands. Let's be reasonable. Please, let's not push Obi to run when it's a 3-horse race when we know he go lose. Stop this thing, this psychopathy, this emotional thing of the stop it. Let's think with our head. Please, I'm just begging you guys because I know that you guys will push out Obi to run against an incumbent president like Tinubu, drug lord, and Atiku, and you will be canvassing people to be donating their money to a thing that will lose. And then when people ask you what happened to all of that money, you go vex. He's stupid. Shut up your mouth. I'm telling you, it's like I can see it. I can see it. So to conclude,
Round up, please.
to round up, let's be guided. Let's think. We don't have power right now. Let's not throw away the coalition because we have to understand in Africa, an incumbent president requires everybody in that country to come together to get him out. Not this 3-horse race thing that we're even entertaining because we know that's failure. That is dead on arrival. Let's be serious. Yeah, I'm done with that. I'm
it's
done.
my turn.
I know when
I
you
want to
go,
ask
you
question.
know go
I want to
agree.
ask question.
Please, uh, uh, please, I want to beg you, Chokafat. So, if you want to speak or if you want to talk in a public, you will start by showing respect to yourself, number one. Then you show respect to your audience. Then you can make a point without insulting others. And that is my issue with many of you here. You do not like it to be, good for you. You don't want him to be in the coalition. That is your opinion. You can even voice your opinion without calling people who want him sycophant, blah, blah, blah. See, my issue with you guys is that you disrespect people. And when they give you back the disrespect, you start complaining that obedience are toxic. I listened to your uninspiring speech here. It might be uninspiring to me, but again, it can be inspiring to many people here. At the end of the day, it is your opinion. But I want to beg you as a man who is an adult that has passed a lot of things in his life, that you should know how to show respect to people, especially if you're speaking or if you're addressing a public. That will be fair enough. Even if you do not respect us, show the courtesy. Please. Thank you. See, next person that will come here and call obedient psychophant and all the rest, please, I may have to drop you because it is disrespectful to us in this space. Many of us are not even your mates. Some of us are much like 20 years older than you. Please, it is obligatory for you to show respect to us, even if you do not rate us or you hate our movement. You can show respect to us. So if you want to criticize us, criticize us. If you want to criticize P2B, go ahead. But to insult us, it will not be condoned. Thank you. Who is next on the line?
I am the
Can I
Then
speak?
go ahead.
Can I speak?
Kaiden. Who? Ovia also.
no.
Ovia and
I
Kaiden, who
Okay.
is
came
that?
here before
Eh,
Ovie, Malam, and many of these people. But the thing is,
yeah, Ovia, please,
I
wait.
want Gege to use my time
Kaiden.
and speak. The space
Okay.
has been a little bit chaotic. I want to bring it back to not to order, right? Normalcy with sound thoughts.
Ovia, go ahead.
I want Gege to
Ovia,
use
go
my
ahead.
turn.
All right, all
I
right.
want Gege.
After Ovia, the Kege can go ahead.
Okay.
Ovia, go ahead.
Ovie,
Thank you
check,
very
check, score the name when now Ovie. Ah!
Oh, sorry. Oh, I'm not from Edo
I
State. Sorry.
No
Apologies.
wahala, no
better.
wahala. I understand, but not just murder the name, shall I understand. So, the thing is, I was listening to, I think, the other Eloka Abi, yes, and he was talking about something Peter Obi Igbo something, and it makes me laugh. You know why? Because even prior to the 2023 election, the last people that even gave how do they even that passed that even gave their support to Peter Obi were the Indigbo association. They were the last people. Even when this man that died, Paradebajo, they were insulting him because the Yoruba, the Afenifere, have approved Peter Obi. They were the first people that came out to approve Peter Obi. And then the Indigbo, they were still trying to be, how will I put it? The Indigbo Association, they were not there, they were not here. So and then followed by the middle belt. The middle belt came out clearly and they said we are supporting Peter Obi. And I think South South through people like Ike Clark, they also came out and they also said something. So it pains me when people are trying to regionalize the Peter Obi to Indigbo to Igbo politics, regional politics. It pains me a lot because in fact we all know that even most of the support did not even come from the Indigbo, so the apex assembly of the Igbo nation. It came from outsiders, and it was even the last minute when they were seeing how the waves, because I believe they were just observing this thing is going to die, so that they will go with their normal way. But when they saw that the movement was becoming stronger and stronger, they said, this man will actually have a chance. And Obi won the election, we all know. And they said this man is going to have a chance. So let's do what we can do so that it will not be like we neglected this thing. And that is the same thing they are still doing today. There is the same thing, and the thing is, we are not even trusting INEC to give us credible election. That one is set, but election is going to be held, and Obi forget regional politics. The people are still going to vote for Obi. See, and let me tell you, I stay here in Taraba. Obi came second here in Taraba. In fact, the margin that Taraba is a PDP state. Atiku is from Adamawa. From here, in fact, they were once one state. It was not long they separated, and they were once Gongola state, just like Bendela. To tell you how close these two states were. But in fact, we even said that Obi won Taraba. Obi won Taraba, but we know how they did it and they gave it to Atiku, even to Adamawa there. So when people come out to say, and I know how, and let me tell you today, all this regionalization and all this thing they are still say, I can still tell you that. In fact, I was interacting with one of my colleague here that we do work together. I was asking how are you prepared for? I wanted to know his mind. He said, guy, now Obi we they go with again no 2027 that is PVC is for Obi again. So I think sometimes let people interact with the reality of ground and leave Twitter space. I can tell you that many people are still going to vote for. There are times that I try to interact with people, just throw some random station. How far 2027 I will go do. But here in Taraba, I can tell you that the fear that people had was that Obi was not proactive proactive in 2023 in the sense that he allowed the ringing. And they will tell you, some people have said they are not going to vote because Obi did not defend their vote. I've had people told me like that. That's just the truth. And I know when the weight is still going to come back, they are still going to vote. Because everybody does it tire. So why am I saying all of this? I'm saying all of this to tell you that, see, even here, the topic of discussion is Obi. Everybody know that Obi is a strong contender, is a strong force in this coalition thing. If you don't want to even bring Obi self, forget coalition, Tinubu, because the only person as at now that can match ground to ground, even the people that support, I follow a man on Facebook who was a strong supporter of in fact is a friend of Showore. He gave analysis of Facebook that the only person that gets a chance on standing toe to toe for in 2027 is going to be Obi, and he told what Obi can do. That Obi should try and be more proactive, should be more violent in his speech, because that is what the APC understand. Obi should also make sure that he said about 3 things like that. You see, so I'm telling you that everybody knows that Obi has the higher chance. So when I hear people try to regionalize Obi here and there, Obi here and there, let me tell you, 2027, even if the coalition at the end of the day did not want to do their thing and all of that, let me tell you, I believe Obi will still match head to head with Tinubu. And we know ringing is going to be a part of it, of which we are expecting that something should be done from the head, of which we are going to know what to do next concerning the ringing, because we know that INEC will not give us credible election. So anybody that is coming here to say Obi is a regional politician, Igbo this thing, I will always remind the person that in fact we know the insult that Afenifere took in the time of Padembajo, the insult they heard on that man and his escorts, because in fact, Indigbo were just there doing their own thing, and we know that some of the most persecution came from his own kinsmen, even in Anambra. So nobody should come and be gaslighting us here. We know that the people that persecuted, that said rubbish things, that even did him dirty in 2023 election, we are from that same Igbo, and they have started that thing again because of their stomach, not even for the masses. They have started it again. You see, so let nobody come and be gaslighting us and see if Obi have grown beyond the regional Southeast politics. I can tell you that I'm not from Southeast. I'm from Delta. And if in fact, when I went home I will round up with this. I'm just giving you analysis of what is on ground. When I went home and we are just discussing where I was, some young guys like that in my area, and they were saying, Omo, we don't march again, no 2027 now be again. No. All of us, I can say, guy, how far now? He say, guy, we don't march now 2027, we dey wait for like this. May God just keep us. Now we want to again, nothing. So let me tell you, there are strong diehard Obi supporter that come shine. If Obi come out again, they will still stick their money, they will still stick their life, they will still stick everything to make sure that Obi. So let nobody come and gaslight us. That's what I wanted to say. And this coalition, the only thing is let Obi just be careful so that all these people, because me, I've said it, if the coalition does not give Obi the ticket, I will not vote. Let Tinubu continue, because the North, they want to wrestle power by all force when it is even, and let me tell you, there is going to be a sentiment if you give that ticket to the North, because regional politics is going to come in that is sad. And let me tell you, all the failures of APC, that's what they will now use to campaign. It is the turn of the South. Should we allow the North to make sure are we going to allow the North to wrestle power from all? No, we should. That is what he needs. That is what APC is going to use to campaign this regional politics. If they try to give the ticket to a northerner, and I believe it's not going to happen, so it's better the coalition. If the coalition is not going to, and even they know that the coalition is all about Peter Obi. So I think I've said this some time ago in the space. I said, especially sorry to PDP people. Yeah, PDP want to come and reap where they did not sow. When all the obedient, they are doing the grass work and everything. I can tell you the I teach in the school. The owner of the school, if I tell you what he did in 2023, how they printed polo. I have a pickup courtesy to him with his money. They printed polo. He printed polo with his money. We know how much he spent, even to push in House of Rep candidates. They were pushing people just to make sure that Labour have something because of the obedient force. In fact, all the staff that are working in that school, he made sure he used his car to carry all of them to, and most of the big schools here, that was what they were doing. They carried their staff to INEC office, register them to make sure they collected the PVC, and they make sure they were mobilized. Even I had one of my neighbor here who is not even from south, from the north here, and in fact that guy could not sleep in 2023 election. He was after 4 o'clock, he was already in poly unit. So let people not come and be gaslighting us. I will eat. Thank you.
God bless. God
Thank
bless
you,
you,
bro.
my brother Obi.
You guys are the main warriors of the last election. You are the main contributors. I hate it when people will come here and insult you guys. I do take it personal, honestly, because I understood the effort that you guys put on the line, especially those that are living in the northern region and other places. I hate it when people come here and tell us that we are psychopaths, we are emotional, all these are rubbish talking points. Thank you a lot, bro. Thank you.
Okay. Can
These
I
guys
can
are
I
I
speak
said,
the
now,
gay, gay,
or
gay,
who's
gay,
speaking? Is it Kaizen
gay,
who's speaking?
okay.
gay, yes.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak. I think the title of the topics obviously is this coalition an attempt to strip Peter Obi of his support base. The Bola Tinubu's main aim is to create a propaganda smokescreen to justify their rigging plans for 2027. So they saw the result in 2023. He knows he's unpopular. But what he's trying to do is, first of all, he's trying to buy the loyalty of Southeast and Southwest and South governors. So once he can buy their loyalty and then buy the loyalty of prominent Northern politicians as well, then once they get Yakubu to declare whatever results they want, they have the propaganda message behind them to say, look, Obi lost because Sulu supported him, Wike or Fubara supported him in Rivers, that all the Southeast governors were behind Tinubu, therefore that's why Obi lost. That's the whole reason why they're doing all these massive propaganda moves by buying over governors and prominent influencers and all kinds of characters because they want to create a propaganda wave. The thing to remember is that, as you know, Donald Trump has no interest in Africa. It's not 2015 where the Americans were interested in whether or not the elections were free or fair. Donald Trump doesn't care. The Europeans are invested in Bola Tinubu because France has lost many of its former, the French-speaking countries. Many of them are now pivoting towards Russia. So France is holding Bola Tinubu tight because they need him here because he gives them influence in this region. So the Europeans are behind Tinubu. The Americans are uninterested. So that's why he has a free hand to do whatever he wants to do. So the only real opposition to this movement will have to be the ordinary Nigerian people. They are the ones who are going to have to say, look, it is not happening. Peter Obi, first of all, as Andrew Ali said in his tweet, the first thing he needs to do is get a more professional campaign organization. There are companies that actually do this in the US, UK. You can pay people a few $100,000 and they'll put together a proper campaign machinery for you. So that's the first thing he needs to get done. The second, as I've said before, is Peter Obi himself needs to understand that if he's going to contest again, then he has to be ready to go the Nelson Mandela route, which is to fight for your mandate. Don't let them rig you out and then say you're going to the court because nobody's wasting time with you going to any court. The court is not going to Tinubu has basically hijacked the judiciary. So if you don't stand your ground during the voting, the collating, and the declaring, then the game is over. So Obi needs to be ready to sacrifice himself. I'm not saying he must. If he's not ready to sacrifice himself, he should not bother contesting, because this is how you take power from these people. Bola Tinubu is not going to play nice with you. The only president who played nice was Goodluck Jonathan, and we told him to get out, that he was a weak man, that we wanted somebody with backbone. So to think you would take part in an election and the APC will declare you winner out of the goodness of their hearts is a waste of time. Unless if he's not ready to put himself on the line, mobilize his supporters to say, look, we're going to hit the streets, then no waste your time. The final thing is, some people are insisting on a coalition. Well, I'm not one to tell them not to. But the one thing Obi and the obedience need to remember is that you are the one with the momentum. Obi is the one who has been doing the work. If you're interviewing two people for a job, you look at the people and two candidates and say, look, who is the better prepared person? Obi is the one going around the country trying to mobilize people. Atiku is not doing any of that, because to be fair to Atiku is old. He's going to be 80. So Atiku does not have the strength or the energy to govern. He will just be, and as I've said before, we all have elderly parents, and you know what your parents are like once they're over 70. You cannot honestly say your parents will be able to run a country. They'll be too tired. So Atiku won't be able to run the country. They need to get behind Obi. Obviously, a lot of people are saying, especially PDP people are saying, the problem is it will be hard to persuade the North to vote for Obi, but it's easier to persuade them to vote for an Atiku with Obi as his running mate, and then later they will put Obi there. Well, the truth of the matter is that, look, this nonsense began in 2015. In 2015, the choice was between the useless Buhari and Jonathan. People insisted that power must return to the North and that Buhari must be president. So now it's the turn of the South. So we are saying Obi is even a southerner and is a competent southerner. So it's his turn. That's the game that's been played in this country. Every time is the turn of an Igbo man to be president, we start coming up with all kinds of explanations why he cannot be at the top. If they could convince the country to vote for Buhari, then everybody can convince even the North to vote for Obi. And if Atiku and PDP don't want to convince the North to vote for Obi, then, well, we might as well all suffer together, because nobody is a fool in this country. We said rotation is the principle, so we're going to abide by rotation. We cannot keep changing the rules of the game to benefit Atiku. One day Atiku is for zoning, another day when it doesn't favor him, he then starts talking about is the turn of the Northeast. Now the new argument is that the North will not support Obi. Well, that's fine. If the North will not support Obi, no problem. We'll have to manage Tinubu as it is, because it's the same Atiku that brought APC to power in the first place. It's not me. Atiku was among them. So if they are not ready to put in the work and they say they can't convince their supporters to vote an Igbo man, well, we'll then have to manage with what we have. Anyway, I yield the mic.
Sorry, checks. I beg, make I just ask Gege one question. I beg. Hello, Kai, I see you. Yeah, Oga Gege, thanks for coming to our space. Dr. CG, I see you. That's true. Fidelis, I see you. This ends come. Yeah. Ovie, my brother, I hello. Hey, the way you talk, you ginger me small, to be honest. I know you like give you. Because the way this my brother Eloka just dey ginger me since. Yeah, Gege, Eloka raised some important points. I'm also concerned. You know that I am from the Niger Delta. And with the way Jagaban is moving, the concern about non-state actors trying to scuttle, the South Side, like, the middle class and all those professionals that exist within that region. What's your position on resisting that? Because I'm sure you understand why that is a point of weakness that he wants to come from. So what's your perspective when it comes to like people like us that want to resist all that? Yeah.
Well, thank you. That's an interesting point, because Bola Tinubu, as you know, is a man of the streets. So everywhere he goes, he looks to empower people of the streets to positions of prominence, because, as they say, deep calls out onto deep, street calls out onto street. And once he gets people, all the Oluwamas, the one in Edo State, I keep forgetting his name, the other thug there that they've empowered. So that's what he likes to do, because those ones would deploy maximum violence to threaten the rest of the states. Well, the truth of the power is that these people are in the minority. Even all these thugs in the Niger Delta, they're only the minority. If the majority stand up and say, no, it's not happening, it won't happen. So so the real choice for the middle class elite in the Niger Delta is, what future do you want for yourselves and for your children? Because we cannot continue like this. The final thing, context they need to bear in mind, that this fight is about the ownership of Nigeria. The last time we had a discussion about the ownership of Nigeria was in 1966, after the military coup and the civil war. At that time, IBB, Obasanjo, Danjuma, and a few other people were given seats on the board of directors of Nigeria PLC. Now, IBB is very old. You can see he can't even stand anymore. Danjuma is old. Obasanjo is old. Even the Bola Tinubu that is president, the truth of the matter is, if you speak to people close to the presidency, they will tell you that at any point, and that's something I keep stressing to Nigerians, Bola Tinubu is so ill that we don't even know if there's also a probability that Shetima might be your president before 2027. That's how ill Bola Tinubu is. That's why they are flying him out of the country. So we are here discussing Obi Atiku. Shetima is also a real contender for the presidency because of Bola Tinubu's health. So these people are on their way out. So this fight is about who is going to be on the board of directors. Wike is fighting hard because he knows if he can hold River State as his fiefdom, when the negotiations come, Wike will say, I'm one of the board members from Niger Delta. Akpabio too is lobbying. Oshiomolo too is lobbying. Tompolo too is lobbying. In the southwest, you have Arek Beshola flexing his muscles. Tinubu knows this. That's why he also wants to empower his son to be a governor in Lagos State. Because if the son is a strong governor, then the son can also get a seat on the board. In the north, they're trying to reconfigure. Maybe they'll put a Ribadu as one of the directors. That is what a Rufai and Co are fighting. So everybody is hustling because they know the next 10 years are going to decide the new corporate governance structure of Nigeria. If you're not holding a knife, nobody's going to invite you to the negotiation tables to get a seat on the board. That's why Bola Tinubu is empowering all these non-state actors to frighten everybody to stay away so that they can dictate. And the real danger for the Niger Delta is, you saw what Obaseki did in Edo during his second term, when Obaseki said Edo is not Lagos. Bola Tinubu wants to convert the Niger Delta to Lagos. If the elites don't come out and fight, Rivers, Delta, Akwa Ibom, all these states will now be going to Lagos, to Bodilon, to go and take instructions. All the contracts that before were awarded to your local people would now be being decided in Bodilon by Bola Tinubu. You become basically an outpost of the Bodilon Empire. So this is about the elite in Niger Delta fighting for their own destiny, for the future of their children. I yield the mic.
Can I talk, please?
Who is that? Sorry.
Fidelis.
Gege,
Let
thanks
me
very
just
much
give
for that. Okay. Fidelis, are you before Dr. CJ?
I doubt.
Fidelis, just chill. I beg, no vex. Dr. CJ has been here. You will go after him. You're
No,
going
it's
after
Dr.
him.
CJ. It's Dr. CJ.
Dr.
Okay.
CJ, let's have you. Yeah.
All right. Good evening.
Jack, I see you too. You go after Fidelis.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Good evening from here, Moscow, Russia. So, I think this guy has gone. Hello, am I coming out clear?
Yeah, we can hear you. Which guy are you talk about?
I think I was going to address Chooks, even though checks.
Chuka. No, leave Chuka. Okay, just talk your thing out there. Okay? Leave Chuka.
There's something that Nigerians do. They play these psychological tricks on you when they want to gaslight you, push you into a corner to follow an agenda that they already have preconceived. That's manipulation. That's blackmail, emotional blackmail. That shouldn't be allowed anywhere around people who are having genuine conversations. And yes, he triggered me, and I haven't shouted at anyone like this on space. When you come and call people names, sycophants and ignorant, and all that's rubbish. All right, so moving forward. Yeah, I've always like tried to speak on space, on Chukwudima's space especially, because I believe he's somebody who has a stand on what he believes in and why he believes in that. And that's why, for me, when they talk about coalition, coalition. For me, I really do not. If we can use these people to achieve that, well, fine and good. But personally, for me, what I've always advocated for is how can we start to have conversations with our peers all over the country, across this country, across the length and breadth of this country. Is there something we can do as young people, 49 below, going from 49 years old below? I don't want to talk about people who are 50s. I mean, let them do whatever. Let them support if they want. But young people across this country, I check, I see. So let them do what they want. Let them support if they want. But I want genuine young people to start mobilizing themselves across this country, east, west, north, and south. I've been in some Hausa spaces, and I've listened to very talented, very brilliant people speak. And I understand that these people understand what we're talking about. It's just maybe they are not in their majority. So how can we start to align with those like minds across this country? Because again, if there's no unity, whatever we're doing might not stand. As you're trying to fix it, some people are somewhere in the other part of the country trying to mess it up. So I want a situation where we will deviate from this, in as much as, yes, this is a very important conversation. There are political actors who have been there, but I totally disagree with, uh, you know, leaving somebody like Peter Obi and going for an article who is like already in his, 79 going to 80. I totally disagree with that. I don't think it's right. I think he, at this point, should, join the likes of Babangida, make statements, endorse if you have to, teach if you have to, correct if you have to. But because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what anybody is talking about today. The situation we have today in Nigeria is the result of whatever they have done. Like, the voice and the numbers will be so loud that they will see it. Because while we're talking about article today, of course everybody can have those conversations. But while we're talking about those things, because of rigging machines, they can rig. If there's anything they not. Are we now trying to bring? Are we now trying to bring the youth of northern Nigeria as a tool of violence? That they have the youth, they have. Are we not tired of this? Are we trying to? Is that the category you want to place them? Yeah, you might say this is a reality on ground, but yes, can't we start to want to advance above this kind of rhetoric? Yeah, they can protect their vote and and all that stuff. There's a number that you have come out to vote in Nigeria. You cannot rig it. I keep saying this. in for one person. Would comfortably go to the head of the HOD department and report that I have written this exam and this is the result. And I think it shouldn't be. I think there's a mistake somewhere. He's confident to they will not write, they are not ready for exam. They will just write their name on the list, on the paper. Somehow they will submit. They are not ready for the exam. People who are coming after us, even that 15 today, 16, 20 today, we're going to present even a worse results to them. And it's not going to be good for this country. This Nigeria, God has blessed us with human resources, natural resources on the ground. So, what is the reason? Why can't we as young people have this conversation? Why must we have the conversation through an article? Why must we have the conversation through a Tinubu? Why must we have the conversation through a Buhari and all that stuff? Why the whole thing of, because a house divided against itself will not stand. Never will it stand. You come, you regionalize this whole thing. Anytime any deal, like if we don't stop regionalizing, our conversation is going to be if P2B doesn't emerge as well, let that standard be set. That we're looking for competent people. We're looking for people who can come and say, I am a Nigerian. Everybody falls back to their region. Everybody falls back to their lives, to their tribes. Even in the so-called region, people fall back into the shells of their tribe. And like that. So how can we begin to spread our tentacles as young people, as educated people, as people who have, traveled, as people who have seen other climes, as people who have, how can we do that? We will start to attract people from the north. I mean, some people have gone to the north, some people have lived in the north. That the way we just pack all these northerners in one basket, sometimes I listen to it because it's not totally accurate. It's not totally accurate. There are young northerners who are very young, open-minded, who are ready to have this conversation, who are ready to push Nigeria. No, let's forget about those ones that are being programmed and used. For me is the coalition I want to see. But the idea of all these political actors coming here, it's just my face. There's a way it is for me personally as a person when I look at the pictures of those people who are coming now for this coalition, and to understand that they were the same people who just 2 years ago were on the other side. So at the end of the day, look, somebody said something. I'm just going to land with this. Somebody said something, all right? he was trying to describe racism, like why there shouldn't be racism. He got like a glass of, not a glass, uh, cups, red cup, yellow cup, blue cups, and all that. All right, and he filled that cup with water, those cups with water, and he asked somebody to look inside. What can you see? Water. He covered those cups. Pa, pa, pa. What can you see? Colors. Do you understand? So, but at the end of the day, the content is the same. That's why I don't like labeling. You see, the only way these people can escape with all of these things is because of labels. We are paying attention to the labels and leaving the individuals. If you focus on the content, then you start to see everything clearly. So I never dwell on label, because label is something that can deceive. Label can deceive. So, but the idea, if they want to use P2B to get to remove Tinubu, not to get to power, but to remove Tinubu, I wouldn't have a problem with that. But in all honesty, I think in all the indices, let's just place it side by side. P2B is I mean, he ticks all the box. You're comparing them, when you're comparing him with other people relatively, he ticks all the box. And every rational, I'm not going to say it has to be everybody's this thing, but as a young person growing like in Nigeria today, what is the result of what these people have done, and where and what is the result, and how are you going to move forward from that? So that for me is should be the conversation we should be having from now till December. How we're going to get as much people from across the country, young people. How we're going to get people from not all this argument of banter and insulting people and all that. It's not going to. If you come here and insult me, I will insult you back. I will insult you, but I will never have respect for you again, because you're not different. And even I'm not saying me I'm a saint, but when you come to a public place, there are two things you have to know that you're representing not just yourself, you're representing your son, and you're representing that name that you're carrying. And you do whatever, however you behave, is how we're going to relate with you. So even if you're a bad person and you're speaking in public, please represent yourself. Represent people who gave you that name. Don't come and misbehave in public. If you don't have any opinion to push people forward in a positive direction, please don't have an opinion. Not everybody has to speak. Just listen and learn sometimes. If you're motivated to speak, if something pushes you, the good thing is there's a platform where everybody can speak now. Nigerians can converge. This idea talk to you guys. I want to talk to people who do not support him. Why they don't support him. I want to see from their own angle. I want to know why. Then let's place the reasons side by side and it might not be clear. So that's why I mean, if you understand Hausa, you understand or any northern language, and you find those spaces, please go there and have this conversation with them. Even if you just understand and you can't speak, you can ask some of them. They understand English as well, but they communicate in Hausa just to for the wider audience. You go there. These are the people who need to talk to. People in the south. Anybody in the south that feels that okay, this is his opinion, this is like, well, I mean, you're entitled to it, but let's give those people a chance to listen and hear, from us, the young people, not even Obi, because Obi is talking to those political their political class there. We as young people, we as the citizens, young people who I believe are yearning and hoping for, but again, finally, any coalition that does not like inspire the people, that does not inspire every Nigerian to begin to do things the right way, that does not inspire to reduce corruption in Nigeria, that does not inspire the populace, the diaspora that sends millions of dollars into that country. Any coalition that does not inspire them, I don't think is a coalition of the people. There must be because Obi's character, I believe, is a character that would inspire people to begin to do things the right way, to do things the right way. And that is what that country needs. If everybody puts their hands and start doing things as Obi, like in their organizations, I don't mean in your personal life. Your personal life is your business. In organization, have you gone to civil services in Nigeria? Have you seen the corruption there? So these are the things we're talking about. We want a leader that will be as an example, not the old status quo. For me, is pivotal to why I always come and sound this way. But again, you are entitled to it. But don't come here and insult anybody. We are pushing our agenda. An agenda could be negative, could be positive. Ours is Obi. Obi is the agenda, and we're going to push it. All right. If we're going to use article to push it by begging him, because I've told Chukwudima, if we're going to beg Atiku, I don't know what technique, what modus of operation we're going to use to make Atiku support Obi. Because I think Obi as well has also served this man. Man is served. When somebody serves you, you settle him. And that's how it's done. I yield. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Fidelis, we hear you now. Dr. CJ,
Okay.
CJ, you hug my coat. But it's all good. It's
Okay.
all
No,
good.
sorry. I've been away. I've been at work. I just got back. So, I spoke with Chukwudi in the morning. We were there for like 30 minutes. So I told him I'll be back. So I think all those. So I beg, thank you. No vex, I beg.
I really want to thank the last speaker. It looks like he was reading from my notebook word verbatim. Because I have realized that 90%, 95% of our space, we always talk about these guys. Do we know that we can form a coalition of parliamentarians, a coalition of the Senate? Do you know that Tinubu can be a president and we take over the National Assembly and the Senate and make him useless? Do we know that? So sometimes I really wonder what we are thinking. We need to be talking to ourselves. We need to form our own coalition. We need to allow these guys and ask ourselves, what are we doing? Because we talk too much about them. And then let's talk about ourselves. Let's come together. Let's see how many people can go to the Senate, how many people can go to the parliament, and see how they can kick these guys out. Because that is the only way. Now, talking about 2027, let me say this. 2027 will not be like 2023. At least many people underestimated Obi in 2023. They're not going to do that. They're not going to do that again in 2027. A thunder does not strike in a place twice, except there is a problem. So we need to work hard. We need to work hard. We have to know that the international community does not like an honest person. That is why they are more comfortable with Tinubu. You can imagine now, Biya in Cameroon came to power in 1982. But the international community is calling Traore a dictator. But Paul Biya, they cannot say he's a dictator. You see that? So it's to tell you that these guys, they don't want honest people in power. Because they know that if they have honest people in power, they're not going to take loans and all those things that they take and take your generation. So we need to be more productive in the way we do our things. We try to come together to see what we can do to push these guys to the extreme. Let me ask you something. If Erufai was made a minister in the Tinubu's administration, do you think he will be talking the way he's talking today? He'll be singing the song of the APC. APC is the best. But now that he was not made a minister, now he becomes an angel. I'm not saying that we cannot coalesce with people we don't agree with, because right now, as it is now, the ground is different. your enemy now who has a voter's card is better than the best friend you have who does not have a voter's card. So we need to work in that direction. Those who are saying Peter Obi should just go alone and make the thing 3-horse race, they don't really like Obi, because things are not going to be the same. The 2027 election will be rigged by the military, broad daylight. So we can vote, yes, but if we don't have the source to protect the vote, it's as useless as we have not voted. So we need to be thinking in that direction, that Tinubu will not sit and watch. We need to know that Tinubu will not sit and watch. So they will use every mechanism to rig the election. So we have to be thinking in that direction. But the overall of what I'm trying to say is that we should talk more about ourselves than talking about these people who are already, they have sold our future. That is all I have for now.
Okay, thanks, Fidelis. I like. Shish. Okay, Kaizen, I see your hand. Kaizen, I see your hand, and they come. I think Jack. We have Jack. Jack, you there? Jack's
Don't
not
worry,
here.
let them go. Let them go. I'm okay.
Okay, Jack, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Good
Okay.
evening, everyone.
Good evening. Yeah, Jack. Before you go, so what do you think? So let me just put this one out there as you make your submission. As regards the topic, I think people are seeing the moves, the recent moves Amechi is making. Saying this as someone that grew up in Port Harcourt, I actually went to go and watch his Arise interview, did some sentiment analysis on the commentary, and it's generally, at least 60% positive and all that. So, is this who they want to use to edge out my principle?
Okay, so I think we are rather being too quick here to even discuss the coalition, because while everything you hear about coalition as of today are mere speculations, right? In individual alignment and misalignment. Sorry. So all we have for now are mere, speculations and alignment and realignment from politicians. It is not clear yet, as the direction the coalition will be going on anything. And I think that we should actually be a bit more patient before we start analyzing, combos, who is going to pick the ticket and who is not going to pick the ticket and all of that, right? Allow the coalition to actually come up with even a unified platform first, because for me that is even maybe even more important at this point than who leads the ticket. But again, the general sentiment at the moment is that look, power has to go to the south, and if power is intentionally shifted to the south by the coalition leaders, definitely P2B will be the first choice. And the reason is because first, he has proven that he's a great mobilizer, and is able to mobilize Nigerians across board. You can't take that away. Nobody will even gamble with a P2B being on the ballot, and then the coalition has another candidate. It's just for me, I think it will be a fatal error, and I believe that even the coalition leaders are aware of this. That I mean, you can't make such kind of mistake, at least not at this point. So let's not run faster than our shadows. I've heard a couple of statements from people. Well, one thing I think Nigerians have the right to do at this point is to say, look, we must not always discuss article on, anytime, every election year, people are pushing that narrative. This was the same narrative that PDP pushed the last time, that, oh, it's only a northerner that can defeat APC, blah, 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 blah. And, PDP leaders as of today, they are all almost regretting that, very mistake that they made, because what they would have done, even if P2B, if they gave P2B the ticket and P2B had not won, what they would have done is to consolidate on their base, which is Southeast and South, right, as a party. Because if P2B had their ticket, they were sure that they would have maintained their very strong and their loyal base, which is the Southeast and South. But unfortunately, for whatever reasons, some of them believe that it was about delegates, it was about money, and what happened. So the coalition leaders are way smarter. And so for me personally, I don't see a pathway for Atiku. Not even in the coalition, I don't see how he will be able to navigate and even pick the ticket. I don't see how that's happening, because I know that most of the coalition leaders are 100% against his candidacy. So, it will be difficult for him to navigate. Amechi is also a decent politician, to be fair to him. I'm not sure I have any personal thing against him. But if maybe for some reasons P2B decides to drop what I consider our collective ambition, and it has to be Amechi, well, some of us will have to reconsider and see how it goes. But I know 100% that most of the leaders would actually prefer P2B to be on that ballot, because with P2B, it's only P2B right now that almost all the South governors will be afraid that they might not even win their own state for Tinubu, right? We are not talking about Southeast, because we know that there's no governor in Southeast that has the capacity to beat him in their state. So, it makes more sense for you to gather enough votes from at least Southeast, South, and, some part of Southwest, and then with full backing of, the coalition leaders, particularly the northern leaders, I believe that Peter Obi will declare the president. But Anamechi
So,
would
sorry,
probably be
Jack. Jack,
yeah?
sorry to cut you. Let me try to push back and be a little bit cynical. And we've
Okay.
discussed this before. Hello, can let me wear your heart a little bit. If you look at PO and like the last meeting at the when like he was invited to talk with those leaders. PO is consistent, always talking about the issues. But if you're looking at the political class, Nigerian political class, do you think that they will want to support a man that will, jeopardize their vested interests with respect to the political economy? Everybody has been shouting and complaining about street lights, 200 and something million and all this. All these things are going to the pockets of stakeholders. And this is what is most important to them. Now you have a man that is coming to shut all that down. Now, and that is why you are seeing people are saying the Amici guide, blah blah blah. Of course, I can't call out for Amici and all that. But look at it from their own perspective. The Nigerian political class, we make money via public procurement fraud and budget padding in trillions and share to ourselves via our briefcase companies and all that. Why would I want to jeopardize something that is working and now support a PO that is preaching against all that and going to shut that down? Why should I do that? Yeah, Jack.
Okay, my brother, brilliant question. So if you ask me, while you are fighting to protect your interest, I think that some of them are actually also interested in making a statement, right? While you're fighting for your interest, you also want to win, right? So you have to be smart with your calculations. Just to give you an idea, I'm aware that before 2014, right, Buhari will probably tell you that Tinubu is the most corrupt politician in Nigeria, and if he had the opportunity to become president, he was going to jail him. I mean, I was reliably informed that he said this a couple of times. It took some people years to convince him to meet Tinubu, for them to, form the alliance that eventually, turned to be APC. I'm saying that to say that, political elites are also smart, when it comes to when they want to get to power, right? Do you know? Let me be honest with you. If you get contracts in this country, right? Even with like a contract that is, marked up maybe like the normal way, 25%, 30%, it's still a lot of money. The problem we have is that we have political elites that are so greedy. So I will tell you that some people would rather get that 25% right now than to allow Bola to continue, right? That is like, just to be part of the government. Again, some people also genuinely actually want the political culture to change. It's just that they can't lead the fight. They can't be at the forefront. There are some of the leaders, some of them have actually realized that, look, there's nothing to share again. We have a pending $21 billion bill to be approved for us to borrow. Nigeria is in a mess. Financially we are bleeding. So some people also understand that part. That look, whereas if it was about contract for some people, or it's about making money for some other people, or about just protecting their so-called elite interest, some of them will be in APC. So some people are already making sacrifices and making decisions to say, look, we are not going to back this person, right? We want something different. We thought maybe this person had a certain skill set, and then he's doing something else. He's rewarding his cronies, appointing his boys, and whereas they have maybe some brilliant ideas, some brilliant policies, but the people driving the implementation of those policies are nothing to write home about. So you also want to consider some of those things, right? So I don't entirely agree when we want to like paint each and every one of the leaders as being selfish. Oh, it's about their interest and all of that. Some of them, I've been opportune to meet some of them that are quite interested in something new, and they recognize that young people have a level of trust for P2B, right? He has been able to build a movement for himself. He's been able to mobilize millions of Nigerians into believing that a new Nigeria is possible. So what this P2B needs to actually win an election, it's substantial support from the north, right, and across board actually. But you can almost swear that a P2B will do well in southeast, south, and some parts of the southwest, right? And so what you need to do is just back him, for him to be able to do that. And so for me, I don't see. Yes, there are people that will have that interest, but generally, I want to believe that at least 60% of these leaders would actually, want to go the direction of P2B, because in this kind of coalition, you want to
Ah,
do with.
Jack,
Yeah.
my friend Elokano go gree that one. Like,
Well,
eh?
well, well, well,
Ha!
well,
Nigerian
well.
politicians, Jack. Come on, man.
No, no,
Shit.
no. Again, like I said, it is not all of them, my brother. I've seen quite a number of politicians that are quite honest, sincere. They want something good, but not be everybody get. What P2B is doing is almost seen as something impossible, because you know what it means for you at that level to go against the system and begin to rile Nigerians up and begin to teach them that, look, you can get a better country than what you're getting. See, it takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of sacrifice on his own part. He's been attacked. He's been embarrassed in some places, simply because he believes that, look, whereas maybe I might be part of this old order, I think that we need to change something, for the next generation and hand them a much better country. So for me, this is his preaching. And, the leaders will have to either make choice, right? Because the choice before them is, do you want to gamble with an Amechi that will probably not win River State because of presence of Wike and his people? Do you understand? And an Amechi that would, more or less be unpopular in most places in the South, right? That will not be able to garner you the substantial vote. I can tell you that a typical Amechi will get more vote in Kano, Katsina, and maybe Kaduna than in Rivers State, Akwa Ibom, and Bayelsa. You know why? The reason is because when Amechi was a minister, he focused most of his projects in the North. Right, he's their darling in the North. So what I'm saying is that, look, there has to be a combination of so many factors. Some people need to intentionally support P2B. He doesn't have all the things figured out. He doesn't have all the skill sets required. So he will probably need consensus. But what I don't agree is the idea of Atiku. It gets me annoyed. I feel so disrespected anytime people talk about Atiku.
No, Jack. We never did talk Atiku. Yes. No worry.
Exactly.
No
No,
worry.
I just want to say, because I know that a lot of people discuss that, and I don't think it should be, a subject of discussion at this point, honestly, in our political lives as Nigerians. Thank you.
Jack, sorry, I have a question.
Okay, it's my
Can I
turn
just
now.
ask him a question?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Do you think the only pathway for Obi to become president is a 2-horse race? Or do you think Obi still has a chance in a 3-horse race?
Okay, honestly, from the heart of my heart, I think it has to be a 2-horse race, honestly. I don't see, a pathway via the 3-horse race. I don't see it personally. And again, you also need to understand why we lost the last election, or why INEC did what they did. It's actually because we didn't have capacity to protect in most places. And that protection is, for me, the most important thing that the coalition gives you, right? If it's about number of votes, Obi pulled over 10 million votes in the last election. I can tell you guys, there was a research on this, right? So it's not like I'm just making a blanket statement. He pulled over 10 million votes in the last election.
What are his chances in the core north in a 2-horse race? What are his chances?
No, so in my opinion, right, in 2-horse race, I don't see a pathway for Bola, honestly. If it's between Obi and Bola, the both of them on ballot, right, a 2-horse race.
In the core north, yeah.
He said in the 12 core northern states.
Okay, in the core north, again, this is what the coalition brings in, because what the coalition
13
brings
actually.
in, yeah. So what the core north brings in is that support that he needs in the north. To be honest, if Obi goes, this is why I think that if he goes solo, you probably will not still be able to pull the substantial support you need in the north in the right places for you to be able to win, right? So what the coalition brings in this instance is that, look, I know a couple of the leaders from the north that are, part of the coalition. The likes of the former governor of Kano State, Ibrahim Shekaro, leading a group. You have the likes of Atiku, they have the likes of El-Rufai. These are leaders with substantial inroads in different parts of the north. And if these people, for me, backs Obi, there is no coming back for Bola, honestly.
So that's what I'm saying. Do you see them backing Obi? Do you see them currently tilting towards Obi?
Again, my brother, honestly, if I sit here and tell you that, these things are bread and butter or A or B, I'm lying, right? But again, I feel it's possible. And why do I think it's possible? One, I've seen Obi and El-Rufai in a couple of rooms, having conversations lately, which means that it's possible, for the both of them to agree to work together. I know that Obi has tremendous respect for Atiku. Atiku also rates Obi enough to actually nominate him for his vice presidency at some point. I know that Obi is also a great friend to Ibrahim Shekaro, like I said. So do I see these people able to zero down on Obi as a smart political decision? Yes, I do. Because I think that they also don't have too many options. Honestly, I don't think they have too many options at this point. Obi appears to be the very likely the closest you're going to get. Like you can beat your hands on your chest, because imagine obedience, right? Going to the war with the full backing of substantial leaders from the north. There's no way Bola will come back. I can bet my money on it. He won't. I don't see the pathway for it.
Okay.
Even Lagos is very likely going to lose Lagos again, honestly. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Jack. And I keep on, you win elections via organic means and political and party machinery. What Obi lacks is party machinery, or you call it political machinery. And I've made this argument that all Obi needs is a machinery where you don't even just sell Obi as a guy that will build roads or build the farm. All those things are, according to their good governance conversation. I'm not sure Nigerians are ready for those kind of conversation. But you want Obi to win, right? Obi needs a structure where you will go to the north and say, on election day, vote this party. Simple. That's what he needs. He needs someone who's going to be able to convince the masses. Because if you check Nigeria's voting pattern historically, the north shows that they can be sophisticated when they want to be. Because you guys remember in 2003, 2007, 2011, specifically, Northern House will go and vote Buhari ANPP and vote PDP governor. That's what they were doing. So that is the kind of structure Obi needs. That's why I say he needs people. Obedience have done the work, but there's a limit to what the organic movement can do. You still need that party political structure because some people are Pavlovian. They will vote where they are told to vote. They're not going to conceptualize why Obi is better than Atiku or why Atiku is better than Obi. Those concepts they are immune. They don't understand it. What they understand is where does the machinery say we need to vote? And again, on the flip side of it, that is Tinubu's strength, or rather, that is what Tinubu wants to build his re-election around political and party machinery, which is why he's consolidating and entering into the agreement because he believes that a lot of the votes he will get are voters that will vote come rain, come sunshine, APC, as far as the right incentive is there and as far as the right machinery is there. So, head to head, Obi versus Tinubu, it's going to be a tough, very, very tough battle. We don't know who will win, but we know who has the advantage. And the person with the advantage, because of organic support, is Obi. Because on a party machinery and a political machinery, if the coalition backs Obi, it's almost neck on neck. But the advantage will be what? Organic support. And a lot of people are not coming out to vote Obi because they don't know if Obi can win. However, and they'll tell you, you're not going to waste your vote. I'm not going to waste my vote. I'm not going to waste my vote. I'm not sure Obi can win. And I tell people that the very moment this just 2 years to election. By 2023, we knew that Buhari was going to win the APC primaries. When did they even do that APC primaries? Late 2014, I think. But by 2023, it was clear this was what was happening. So I don't think it's too early because there's no time, really. You have less than 1 year to do the work that needs to be done. That's the honest truth. This 2025 June. Election will be in 2027 February. That's 1 year and 8 months. So you have less than 2 years. Again, you don't even have less than 2 years because, to be honest, you have less than 1.5 years. 1.5. And by now, it should be clear. And I like that you said that a lot of people are thinking because you have to look at the strength of each candidate. No candidate is entering this election with an organic vote of 6 million voters. No, there's no candidate. None. Even Buhari did not. Buhari had organic support, but Buhari did not have the spread of organic support. Buhari's core support was in Northeast and Northwest. But Jonathan. Obi has a larger spread of support base, which is an advantage for him. I just heard some guy one OVA guy, talk about his support in Taraba. So it clearly shows that if you pivot all the support bases across Nigeria, you could see that Obi has the capacity to enlarge the support base cutting from the west to the east to the northeast, diverting to the middle belt. So he has a support base.
Eloka, you no comment
You
as
get,
in Eloka, you no comment as in comment my people for Delta. Oh, I beg, you no call that one.
oh boy, leave matter, I beg. We go talk. I don't want make checks NG. Go be attack me now. Just leave me alone. So Obi has, yeah, I mean, to be honest, for Obi has the right support in the south and a bit of the north central and northeast. Obi's biggest issue is penetrating the northwest. And anybody that's listening to me will listen to when I say it is easier to sell Obi in the north than to sell Atiku in the south. Despite Igbophobia, oh, he's an Igbo man, he's this one, he's a Christian. I agree with all those limitations. Despite that, it is easier to sell Obi in the north because all you need to focus on to sell Obi is what he has done. Don't get involved in whether it's Igbo or whether it's not Igbo. Say, oh, when Obi was here, this is what I did. When Obi was here, this is what he did. He has contributed to this. He has built this. He has this one. He has done one. He has done one. This one. That one. That's the truth. It is easier to sell Obi. So, if the coalition is ready, and as a claim, if the North is really angry, there is no other candidate that nature, that opportunity has presented to them than Obi. Because the very moment they say they're going to support Obi, all these latent, I'm not too sure, I don't know whether Obi can win, I'm not supporting Obi because I'll waste my votes, I don't know, this one, that one. You know, those ones on the corner looking inside eye and saying, you sure say this Obi go fit win? You sure say you no go win? You sure say no go support Tinubu, no see what we'll figure for him? All those conversations will be over because you're now dealing with a candidate who not just has organic support, but who has the backing of a serious political machinery. And so it gives you the room to now start fighting for things like electoral reform because there's no time. You guys are not even discussing electoral reform. Key. The reason why nobody is discussing electoral reform now is that nobody's even sure who's going to contest. You don't want to go and fight for electoral reform and at the end of this article that is going to benefit from it. No, nobody's going to do that. And I hope PDP guys are listening. Nobody will put their skin in the game for Atiku. Yes, Atiku has politics. You will get the political machinery, but you don't. It's not just political machinery to take you over the line. You need people that will put skin in the game. And what Obedience showed in 2023 was that, see, we will put skin. They put their money. They put their skin in the game. In fact, what Obedience did destroyed a lot of political activities because a lot of politicians were saying, if these guys can do this thing for Obi without Obi spending his money, why do you need money for us to campaign for? Why do you need money for us to sell it? They need money because they can't sell you based on what you've done. They can only sell you based on party machinery. So they need to go and tell people, coerce people, come out and vote, come out and vote. PDP is PDP and who they vote, umbrella, or boom, boom, boom. So again, there's no time. Whatever the coalition is doing, they need to do and act fast. There are really no options. There are not a lot of options. There are not a lot of choices. And to be very clear, the choice is clear. The choice is clear. There's no need to double out. You can discuss, it's going to be Secretary of Federal Government, who's going to be Senate President, who's going to be Speaker, who's going to be Minister. You can have all those conversations. But today, by the end of this year, it needs to be clear to the Nigerian populace who is going to challenge Tinubu. Because Tinubu is not sleeping waiting for you to make your decisions. Tinubu is also working hard, consolidating. Tinubu's earnest prayer is that the coalition should choose Atiku. That's his prayer. But I want the coalition to shock Tinubu because history tells me that the coalition will choose Atiku. If I go back to history, look at our historical behavior, most likely they will choose Atiku. But if the coalition bends from history, I keep on telling people for Nigeria to change, history doesn't need to repeat. History needs to bend. So that pathway, it will just take a bend. I say, no, let's test it. Let us test this belief in Nigeria that one, an Igbo man cannot be president. Two, Northerners will not vote Igbo people, or he will not vote an Igbo man. Hey, or all whatever nuances or talk that has permeated the Nigerian political space, we can test it in 2027 by saying, out of all the candidates from the opposition, the only candidate we see Leave competence away. Leave competence that we feel has the voters that can challenge Tinubu. His name is Peter Obi. Peter Obi has the voters that can challenge Tinubu. All he needs is a political machinery. I'll end by saying, if they don't choose Peter Obi, like I said before, Obi should just rest. Let it be Atiku and Tinubu. And checks might not like what I'm saying. We'll just support Atiku. We'll just support Tinubu because I do not believe that every time power leaves the north, that they'll get angry or wanting good governance. This is Jonathan game now. This is exactly the same thing they did to Jonathan. Exactly the same thing, no difference. Oh, blah, blah, blah. I'm biased. I'm biased to that point. No, no, no. If you are angry, if you want the country to change, there's someone that goes around. Obi is putting in the work. Today is in Mokwa, tomorrow is in Ibadan, next tomorrow is in Anambra, next tomorrow is in Usuka donating to one nursing school. He's in Jos or he's in Benue trying to visit an IDP. The man is putting the goddamn work. He's working hard. I mean, I don't know what else to say to Nigerians. That's why when a woman asks me about good governance, I say, you guys are not interested in good governance. Because if you're interested in good governance, you'll be fighting, going to the coalition. Okay, what are you guys discussing here? This is the man here. Same thing they did to PDP. What are we arguing about? This is the man. This man has put in the goddamn work. Nobody, no politician has put in the kind of work Obi has put. Not even Obasanjo in 1999. At least I was big enough. No politician, even Buhari that you guys that had enough. Why did not put in any work? He just sat down like a king and people were following him. Obi has put in the work. I dare say, since the Fourth Republic, no Nigerian politician has put in the kind of work Obi has put in. For God's sake, I wake up, this man goes to 3 places in 2 days. If I travel for work, I'll come back, I almost want to die. But I'll see Obi, 60-something-year-old man, moving, flying like he has the heart of a lion, putting in the work, donating his own money. When I'm not even ask yourself where Obi they get his money from. The man has put in the work. So I really don't know what the coalition is discussing. Atiku is 84 years old. He's going to be 80 years old next year, Abi. In 2027, he'll be 81. Guys, do we want to deal with an Atiku cannot put in the work. He can't. Plus that, I don't want to deal with his 30. How many children does he have? 30-something children. You now have 30-something children feeding up. I beg. Obi's kids are not even in government. We don't know what they do. His son is a musician. His daughter is a teacher. That is what we want. We want a president that will not be betrayed to anybody. So, I'm not referring to I don't know what the coalition is doing, no. But if we are serious, and I doubt we are, we will choose Obi. If not, if we not choose Atiku, oh boy, Emiloko 2027. Thank you.
My man Kenena. Hey, no go anywhere. Oh. I go see come. I go see, you. We must still come do our analysis. No, know the direction we dey move. I beg, because we're not taking no prisoners this 2027. Ogadagidi. What is your name, eh?
Woman,
Ogadagidi.
it is still
They
request.
there.
Like request. Woman,
Sami Rights
it is still
Africa,
request.
Wall Street J. Do be that.
But it is still
They
request.
there. So, now
Good
they hear
evening,
They
me.
hear me.
everyone.
Okay. Yeah.
Good evening, guys. I just want to drop some questions here. You know, I have many questions, but I'm just going to drop few. What is the purpose of the coalition? Like the last speaker said, Obi already has the votes. And my second question, how do we ensure that what happened in 2023 election, where all of those irregularities arose and they told us to go to court, and we all know how that ended? How do we what plan do we have to prevent that from happening? Currently, I'm not seeing any talks of reforms or anything. And my next question is, what is the movement doing about the bigotry going all over the internet space? Because we see it as a small issue, but it's slowly permeating into the system. It wasn't like this before, but it's getting out of hand. We need to address it um squarely and have a plan um to dissuade it or kind of uh a plan to, kind of teach people how to handle such situations in a way that benefits the movement. My last question is, what are we doing to ensure that our votes count in 2027? Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Sorry, who was that? It seems I'm having issues with my phone. Okay, Sammy, that's
It's
you.
me. Yes, Sammy,
Okay.
yes.
Eloka, our political consultant. Talk to us, please. The downstream infrastructure to protect votes.
And to be honest, I mean, the way to protect your voice is to do exactly what happened last year. But the point really is that you need a coalition because Obi has organic votes. But for Obi to win, Obi needs the political and party machinery votes. Those are two different sets of voters. Whether you hate Atiku or hate Tinubu, those guys will always get votes from the party and political machinery. And that is what Obi is lacking. Like I said earlier, I don't know when you join space. There are people that will vote PDP or APC. If you tell them that Tinubu is about to destroy their ancestral home, it doesn't matter to them. They are Pavlovian. They've been classically conditioned to vote in one way. There's nothing you can do about it. You don't get what you go fit. What Obi needs from the coalition is the socio-political engineering for them to condition some of those people who are conditioned to vote party ways to vote for Obi. Party machinery. Those are the guys that, I mean, a lot of Obi is running under LP, but I'm voting for LP because of the name Peter Obi. What you need for Obi to win is not people saying they are voting Obi because of the name Peter. Not people saying they are voting Obi flying Atiku or flying Obi. They don't care. Flying Atiku or flying Obi. They don't care. So have people who are voting strong political machinery. You are going to be combining organic poll watchers with the party machinery poll watchers. Think about the presence of 400 or 500,000 polling unit watchers across Nigeria because of you've mixed up those organic poll unit watchers and the party machinery. I mean, if you guys followed the last election, PDP was laughing at LP that we not even get polling ward officers, and it's true because there's not enough time for the organic system to get polling watch officers across the nation. But existing parties and political structures already had those guys. So what the alliance again will give you is that spread, which is what Tinubu is afraid of. Now, Tinubu's pathway to victory is going to be dwell on indifference. What I mean by indifference, people not caring. And I said it here, I'm going to say it again. That if it's an Atiku and Obi contest, there's going to be a lot of indifference. And what does indifference lead to? It leads to rigging. Because you don't care. Because Obi is not there. Why should I bother? Even if they rig, and they're the same people. But if Obi is there, it's a different conversation. The indifference or entropy level or indifference ratio will be greatly reduced. And so what you'll be targeting is okay, how do I aggregate organic movement with political party machinery movement. Of course, there's going to be a bit of clash. Of course, it's going to happen when you bring people who don't really share the same outlook on life. But because all of you guys have the same intention, which is making Obi president, you just decide, okay, we're going to share our differences in outlook, but we're going to work together to ensure Obi is president. That is how you make the movement. That's how you can guarantee that those votes will be secured and will be counted, because you just have too many people everywhere watching what is happening. Rigging happens when there's indifference. Rigging happens, when there are not a lot of people who are ready to protect votes. So that is why the alliance is important. You need those people who are hardcore political and party machineries. Then you also need people in the north who will go and speak and convince that everyday northerner who doesn't have the ability to conceptualize what is good or bad, or what is evil or good, but who understands the cost of political indifference by telling them that, hey, we are voting this party because APC has failed. This party will do X, Y, Z. Again, you don't need to call Obi's name. All you need to do is sell the message based on party. Because, like I said, these guys are party political machineries. They're not conceptualizing name identity. They're not conceptualizing what Obi has done in Anambra, what he didn't do. All those things are irrelevant to them. What you need the politicians to do for you is to sell these guys and say, we're going to do this, so we're going to do this. This party will do this. Just like how APC came and said they're going to be changed. They're going to strip away PDP. PDP has wrecked it. Boko Haram is straight because PDP. You need the northern, especially the northerners, to be able to conceptualize a message around whatever platform or whatever party Obi is going to run on, and say we're going to do this because we're going to vote. We need to vote for this party because APC has failed. ADC or PDP or whatever it is will do X, Y, Z. Now, once they are able to conceptualize this voting based on party, not on name. I keep on saying it. The alliance in North doesn't need to sell Obi as a name. They need to sell whatever platform Obi will run on. Yes, you can add Obi. Obi has done this. Obi has done that. But you don't want people conceptualizing what Obi has done, because if you start conceptualizing that, you're not going to have to deal with, Obi is an Igbo Christian. Oh, this one. You don't want that. What you need Obi is to conceptualize them voting on party in the North, especially. So you will leave out Obi's identity as your unique selling point, and you will sell party as your unique selling point. But in the South, we will leave out party and sell Obi, because to be very honest, if you're going to sell party, oh boy, if you lose, so you will sell Obi as your unique selling point. But in the North, you will keep a little bit of Obi's identity, because you don't really want people digging in. You will flip it and sell party, and that is why we need them. That is why we need that alliance. The ability to conceptualize selling the party as a party to vote for, irrespective of whether it is Obi or Atiku or Ashmechi. And these are my thoughts on it. I'm not. As we evolve, these thoughts keep on coming. But this is where I see how Obi can win his presidency. An alliance that will be able to sell him in the North. You don't even need to sell him on name identity. You can sell him on party identity. And a strong deepening of spreading of the base in the North Central, South, Southeast, Southwest, Northeast on name. Because a lot of us in the South follow Obi not because of party but name. But you see, we can't expect to have that same conceptualization in North. So what you need to do is you need to be able to conceptualize an identity around the party, which is why I say you need them, because they are going to provide that party machinery and political machinery. Thank you.
Thanks, Kenan.
Thank
Thanks,
you, bro.
Kenan. Yeah.
Thank you, Nine. Now you come. This is a much better listen. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Who is next? A woman. Who is next?
Ogadagidi, I don't know where
Woman,
you
can you
been
hear
there.
me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Alexis Abams, you did there? Comrade.
Ogadagidi, are you there? Ogadagidi.
Ogadagidi no did there. Oh. I don't know when disappear go. Hello, why you
Okay,
don't
two
wrong?
minutes.
Hello,
All
why you
right,
don't wrong
please go
go?
ahead.
Okay. Because checks. I wanted to reflect on. I don't know. There was a space that we had. I think I don't know if it was this morning or yesterday. And checks. I think you were even there, Seb. That I think we're engaging one. We're engaging. Amino was here. So we're talking about Northern Dynamic, and like I explained to, because like So one good thing about these spaces too is that you are able, the diversity of Nigeria can show. Like I was explaining to someone the diversity of the South. Like they had never really understood like how diverse the South was, because for some people, after I just cross Benin, Omo Igbo, or Naibo people na in there, South is ahead. Some people don't really understand that diversity, the different states, different tribes. So I was explaining to the guy, that diversity, and with that, he actually admitted like learning some things, and I was able to extract, what can work in his other parts. And he said, "Hello, okay, Luca is not here," and he said to me like, "Look, Chess, I think you were here too. Money, 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 money. That yes, aside all those other sentiments and everything, there's also a critical mass that they don't trust anything anybody has to say, because they've been disappointed repeatedly. I think if you know that syndrome of the elephant, like you remove, I've forgotten what that thing is. You remove the rope and the elephant is still standing there. Doesn't know that it's free or something. So like they don't listen to, like just money. Can you be able to organize cash? Because I mean, see, let's face it. Everybody's making sacrifices for this. Nobody's saying, don't get me, I'm not saying PO should be sharing money. No. I'm saying, maybe someone like me or Agala Didima look Malambati side. Now you are going to use for this one. Someone like Malambati side is a partner spending some kind of money for something happening somewhere. You understand? So, like, aside just even, sensitization, you know, you're able to frame it into a social good kind of way. You understand that sometimes it's not only just about, say, it's religion, say, it's both my brother. No, no, no. If you are able to really organize your downstream infrastructure and be able to take care of those that need for the stomach infrastructure, you may be surprised at the results. So I just wanted to just put that out there. Kenene has left. I wanted to tell him that one. Okay. Kaizen, are you there?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah.
sorry,
I
checks
agree with
go.
you.
Yeah.
No, no, guys, can go ahead, please. Guys, please go on.
I am doing something, please. Somebody else should go. I'm doing something,
Okay,
please.
Ogala, are you there? Are you
Checks,
there?
go on with your
See,
point. Checks,
a
yeah, go on with your
woman.
point, checks.
So, I am just agreeing with you. As much as we are not trying to induce voters or to make it seem as if you are trying to buy over them, it also pays to give gifts, especially when you have sittings. There was this thing I was trying to organize. You see, after the past election, I have a plan, because in my place there is nothing like Labour Party. When these Labour Party people, before they started doing this, their nonsense. So I have a plan with my uncle, and my plan is just simple. He's the one on the ground, and he's popular among the village and the mates. So what he has to do is just to go bring the Labour Party flag, and then again he will be the ward chairman. Maybe weekly I've been sending money. Let me say on Sundays, or maybe twice or three times a month. They will just sit together. Maybe they will buy 1 or 2 cartons of beer or something like that and drink. Do you understand? They will drink together in the party office. Bro, by the time you do this thing 2 or 3 times, you will not only get over, you will just give them a sense of belonging. That this is their association. It doesn't have to be all about money. You understand me? When they sit together, they will something like share their drinks together, make some jokes, and maybe at the end of the day, you have ended up giving them a sense of belonging, that this is their party. This is how you build party structure. It doesn't have to be when the campaign reaches, you go about sharing money. No, that is not like that. You start early. By the time you bound them together, even in that campaign period, they will be the ones. You don't even have to stress yourself too much. They will be the one on the grassroots that will go about campaigning on your behalf or on the party's behalf. So obedient movements, we do not give chichi. It's not actually correct. we should be giving chichi. Do you understand me? If you have, at least in the past election, we did it a lot. Sometimes you have someone in your midst that is of that has an urgent need. You can contribute together or donate and help the person. We have been doing this in all the while. So I agree in your this thing. If you can contribute as much as you can, you have to do money.
Oga,
You can
Oga,
give by
Oga
other
checks
means.
if you know wetin carton of malt and gala for ward meeting do for me this last 2023. Omo forget. All this Nigerian middle class wey una go dey post picture on Instagram, dey go club, dey bros, give me that money. You know wetin I go do for ward? Item 7 wey I go
Go to
organize 2
village.
weeks in a row. You know wetin I go do? You just dey come here dey show like exactly like you dey explain checks. It doesn't have to be overt. Just that sense of belonging. Cartons of malt and gala and biscuits. Say everybody dey come discuss Nigeria matter. E dey go far oh. I dey tell you, e dey go far. So that's something like, people need to, yes, plan to organize yourself. But like I said, I'm not going to talk all my doings. But as I tell you, waiting carton of malt, then some for those wey go on, drink 1 or 2 beer or something, fine. Say meeting they go on, all those things they move. My brother, leave matter. That's why we do wise up. That wise. Politicians have also left a vacuum that you can also feel. I'm telling you, leave matter. Just hold one word, say bi-weekly. Every word meeting for here, the item 7. Or you go find caterer. You go find this. Okay, how much be the money every 2 weeks? Bakam. See, if the meeting they start like 10 the first time, by the 4th time, now 100 go dey there. I dey tell you. Because it's like a carrot and a stick something. You understand? Because the truth is that Nigeria is a low trust society. Why should someone gather to come and listen to what you have to say that they've not heard before? You understand? So that consistency in building that camaraderie, because of course, spending all that you're not coming and saying vote for me. No, you're just coming and saying, look, I always been Nigerians for year. No be say I too old, or no be say my papa na down good, but it's more in my pocket, or it's more in my this thing. No, we don't put head together. See what we fit dey do at least as we dey meet time to time. My brother, it didn't work for me last election well, I tell you. Work well. So now na OT, if you never know, that's why sometimes when people just dey come here, they talk all their political sagacity and experience. How you look there, they say you now so. For this say Nigeria will be transnational society, people they hungry well. You can't show love, you can't show care. Genuine, and they say vote for me, just be say now men we be now, me will just as we hear the matter, me will just you do it like that. It work for me. So if you don't know say they work for you, may you just write that one. No, carry one word or one P or some PUs. You and your guys, you come together. And personally, I think that this is what the organization was supposed to be putting in place so that there's like a template for someone to easily execute this. For example, someone can be in diaspora now. And yeah, I mean, you want to be spending maybe $50 every two weeks. But I mean, because of trust issues and all that, but you need that organization such that, okay, if I put this money here, now sure banker say, everything, people will go chop, everything go flow. Me self even link up for the meeting itself with WhatsApp video, talk my own, encourage people. You understand that kind of thing. So for me, I thought well, there's still some time, to do all that because a lot can happen in 3 months. But I just hope that that's where we evolve to, so that we have that infrastructure for people to be able to, do the social goods just like by workflows and clicking their fingers easily. Yeah. Anyway, Harry Paul, you just came up. You want to speak, right?
Yes, I really want to
Okay.
speak. Good
Go
evening,
for it.
everyone. Okay, good evening, everyone. You see, but let me share an experience from what you just said last. I was in Kasana in that 2023, and one striking thing was that on the day of the elections, virtually all those who we thought were, all the indigenes. I'm not indigene, but I lived there for like 15 years. So all the indigenes that were rallying around us in support groups and every other thing, when it got to that very day of the election, and they were coming to our houses because we were prominent, faces in the WhatsApp groups and other meetings, even generally, you know. They now some of them were when we started see some of them come to our houses to say, "To Ganinan, to ga card, that is look at this is my card. We are going to vote now. So what is it for us? What's there for us?" It was like it's like a trend that they are used to. They know that it happens because to a large extent, people have been told that you don't. And people have made to believe that you don't vote for nothing. You don't just even if you love the person, you don't just go out voting for nothing because they believe that all those people that have been outstanding as those working for the party or the candidate the night before must have gotten some reimbursement for themselves. So they have come to. I mean, they would come and take their own shares. That is what is that's the assumption. So when they now got to know that most of what we are doing, like you were suggesting town hall meetings and ward meetings and then all of that, when you start doing such things, some of their mindset will be that, oh, this man is getting a lot from this candidate, so it means that on the day of election we're going to get a bumper. You understand those things? So I'm just trying to use this to clear the air on how strategic it has to go if we must, back up this aspect because it's inevitable to those people at those the downtrodden there. It is something that it will take a long time to be able to stop, but it has to be there. It has to be there, tactically done. So, but my main crux now for coming into this meeting is this. I pray that apart from the recording secretary, somebody should be keeping tab with what we are saying here because it's going to be very helpful. The coalition, and the rest of them. I want to say that one of those things that will dampen interest in this in the drive to this election 2027. One of it is this electoral reform that some of us are not keen at following up. The electoral reforms, if it is not done, someone like me will not even bother to want to go out and vote. If we cannot get at least that mandate that the elections will be transmitted live, it will be transmitted and it will count. I won't go. I won't go. I won't bother to about it. And then if anybody wants to say make Peter be the second fiddle man, I don't want
Henry,
to
I
go with
mean,
that. It will dampen.
Henry,
Yes, sir.
Henry, 1 second. I think these campaigns that you people are doing, right? You people really need to stop it, right?
Mm.
I mean, there are some of them who say, "Oh, if there's no coalition, I won't bother voting." Some of you will now say, "Oh, if no electoral reform." I mean, all forms of things. Yeah, you may never have it both ways. You may get the electoral reform, you may not have the coalition. You may have the coalition, you may not have all the electoral reforms. And the thing is this, right? To be honest with you, some people have zeroed up their mind that, oh, the electoral reform will not come because you need it's the president that will sign it, just like you have Nigeria. Yes, Nigerians can compel him to do that, or Nigerians can make moves for it. But this whole idea that if it doesn't happen, you're not going to vote, it actually doesn't make any sense, to be honest with you. It doesn't.
I
Being
understand your
respectful.
patriotism. I understand
Yeah, yeah.
you are trying to be patriotic.
I'm being very respectful because there is no electoral reform where we retire those senators and those members of House of Reps and even the Abia states having their election.
So it's like Roy is on the
I mean,
phone.
What
yeah,
what are we
sir?
Somebody should be speaking.
what are
Yeah.
we going to do to make the votes count? Now that it appears that
I mean, I
all the
mean,
big
the
boys
thing is this.
are with the existing powers.
The thing is this, to be honest with you, you ascribe a lot of powers to this guy, which he doesn't have. And we also do not, sometimes we don't really want to tell ourselves. basically the best honest truth. And that is why I align and agree with Njenje when he was speaking, because we go all here and be shouting, oh, that election was rigged. How it was? Yes, it was rigged. But ask yourself,
Bro, please, I can't hear
what?
you. The woman, can you hear him?
Oh, if you
The woman,
cannot.
are you there?
I mean, this guy is not hearing me.
Henry,
Checks not.
please,
But I can hear you.
we can't hear.
No, checks not. They hear me. Make I take and down, bring them up again. So I mean, this thing is simple, right? If you ask yourself a very simple question, right? If that election held only in southern Nigeria, right?
Mm,
Would they have found a way to manipulate it and say Tinubu won it? I mean, there was no way. They
mm,
would have done their best, but there was no way. I mean, it was practically impossible. So it doesn't matter anything. Yes, to say that the vote doesn't count is an outright lie, right? But to say that they attempt to rig and they rig in some places or there, I mean, it's also true. So these two things can exist. So, when I talk with one of my friends, then after they say you look at the loopholes and try and fix it. And in as much as you are fixing it, you may not get everything right. But I believe that if you put proper efforts, at least you may get enough right to be able to get your preferred candidate into power. And it's going to happen. It's likely going to happen.
All right, I
Looking at
appreciate your confidence, sir. Let me just drop on this while you continue. I want to drop on one of those aspects that I'm looking at now, something that we can use, we can be putting into consideration. So many people that help or that aid in this manipulation of election and electoral votes. Those in the security, those are the lower cadre, the likes of the umpires. You see, some of them, if they don't have the kind of security from us, the larger electorate, they are likely to going to continue to fall. But if there's a mechanism that can be thought out now, leading to up to the election, where we can say that if any of you, a policeman, civil defense man, is victimized, found to be victimized for standing up and defending what we are all looking out for. If any of you is found to be victimized, you can report to.
brother, for the security officers, they're
Mm.
always in the side where the masses sway. I don't know whether you have been and also in the side where they have been settled to be, because this is the Nigerian unfortunate reality, right?
It is that
Some of
settlement.
these
That settlement
politicians.
is a blackmail most of the time. It's a blackmail most of the time. But if they are going to be rest assured that there are people
The
who
thing
will,
is
will,
this.
will
The
protect
thing
them.
is this. Yeah, the thing is not. I mean, sometimes it's not necessary, right? It's not necessary blackmail, right? Politicians know this thing, and that is what Nanyerigo was explaining here. By the time there is overwhelming majority
Mm.
supporting a particular guy, right, and it's going to cause crisis when you try to adjust the results, they don't bother doing anything there, right? That's
How
just it.
about the violence and the things that happened in Lagos and they looked away?
I mean,
Security.
I don't know why you keep being negative, right? I mean, just look at it
We
simply,
want to
because
lay these things bare now. You want to be pampering
no,
it.
no,
Let's
no,
lay
no,
it
no,
bare
no,
and
no,
help
no, no.
ourselves.
You look at your strength.
Huh?
You look at where you progress, right? You do not overrule everything you have done right and focus on one negative act, right? Even in that Lagos, people who voted in Lagos said it here that there were places where these people couldn't rig, and they tried everything. And all these things. See, if you want to use a good extreme example, you look at River State, right? Because in that case, all of them were actually on the other side, and there
Mm.
was no protection. And there's something people are not even looking at. You talk about Lagos, talk about Lagos, talk about Lagos. What happened in Lagos? If that was only if that Lagos scenario was just the only case, PO would have won the election, 100%, and there won't be any argument. If that was the template across. Man, look at. Have you asked yourself what happened in Kano State, where a governor, someone who was running for House of Reps under Labour Party, got more votes than PO. 98% of his votes were cancelled out because the party structure, whatever you call them, and all these people, were on the side of the other people. So they were shared between NMPP and APC and all these things. and all the votes went, missed. And they will come out and tell you they don't support him. No, that's not actually, and that was what Chess was saying some time ago, that many times, if these people don't want you, even the votes that people genuinely voted for you, it will not be counted, because you do not have a structure there to actually keep those votes in place. These are the things we are even will look at, right? Because if you focus on, oh, how about the Lagos? Those things, they just did it to actually put the fear, which they finally achieved in the governorship election, right? By making it look as if you are helpless. You're not actually helpless against this guy, right? To be honest with you, you're not helpless against them, because if you're helpless, they wouldn't have lost Lagos, they wouldn't have lost Abuja. And that is why they are working hard to either make the people indifferent, right? Or to make themselves look a little bit acceptable. And that is why they are also praying that a candidate that will cause problem for them does not emerge. Right? These are the things people should look into, right? When people are indifferent, it's easy to rig the election. When you come to the polling booth, first of all, the number of people that will turn out to vote are low. They do not care. Then even the votes they are casting, they do not care about it, because they see all these people are politicians. We won't meet them again till after the next 4 years. There's nothing special about them. Or in this particular election, we have actually lost the election, or the election is already won and lost. Let's just do it to fulfill all righteousness. In that scenario, there is massive rigging. They can sway it any way they want. But in a situation now, if you look at it, whatever they did in Lagos, right? You look at it, they did all they could, and yes, they couldn't still give themselves victory in Lagos State, because people put their body, people put everything they had, and to some extent, all their criminalities you get. Because to be honest with you, I think this is the reality you have to get ourselves to know. All right, we are not going to have a Tinubu government where we are going to have a good election coming up. Even the electoral reforms that we clamor for, you won't get the best of it. In a case it comes, you are not going to have a good election. I don't really even know how we even, and that may even be even worse, because to be honest with you, if you look at it, it's already 2 years into office, right? And nothing has been done in the electoral. So they are going to do the reforms and test run it in the first election, right? The particular one that they did, this card reader thing and the beavers, and this beavers thing that they did, and they tested in 4 different elections. They did it in Anambra State, they did it in Osun State, I did it in Ekiti State, to be working very perfectly. All of a sudden develop glitch in the presidential election. So is it the one that they have not even started the process now, that you're expecting to be what you will use to challenge them? The only way to actually take away Tinubu as an opposition, and that has been the only way you win any election as opposition, is by having overwhelming majority. Then banking on nobody rigs. At least that was what Tinubu, in fact, that was even what Buhari did. Buhari may not necessarily have an overwhelming majority in the entire Nigeria, but there were places where he had overwhelming majority, so they held their ground there and made sure that whether either they inflate the figures there, and they have the political machinery to checkmate the inflation of figures in other places, and that was enough for them to get themselves into power. So I don't really, this whole idea, please, I beg you, honestly, yes, we can advocate for electoral reform, right? Yes, we can advocate for it, but it shouldn't be that if it doesn't come, you will not vote. That's actually the height of it. That's the worst part of it. I think it should be that if it doesn't come, you are more you are more motivated, more angered, and more flared up to motivate more number of people to actually vote, so that we finally send this government out and bring in the government that we actually look into the electoral reform and actually do it. Because if you abandon it, who are you abandoning it for? So when are you going to? Is it after Tinubu's regime you start? Is it in his second term you start advocating for another one, and he will not do it? He will still abandon it. Then he will put
Can
his
anybody
puppet there.
answer? Can anybody answer if there is no possibility of a boycott of elections in Nigeria? Can anybody answer that question for us? If there's no
There's no
possibility of boycott
possibility
of
of
election
boycott.
in this
That is
country,
living in. That is actually one of the biggest delusions anybody can talk about. There's no possibility. I mean, which cannot. You can. I mean, let's not even think about it. It's not possible. Even on this space you are, this space we talk about, right? You see the APC, for example, the last election they say they got 8 million votes. I know they may not have gotten up to that number, but they had significant number. At least they had at least 3 million or 4 million people supporting them, right? That is what you should look at. As unpopular as APC is in Anambra State, where I'm from, they never won even a local government, not one elected member. It has been in APC. The ones who were elected under some other platform who decamped to APC, all of them lost their re-election in any party, any time in since APC came into power, right? They never got any victory in Anambra by polls. Even the one that decamped never got re-elected. But even at that place, right, they still have one or two. They still have numbers, some numbers, right? The last governorship election, which had low voter turnout, the APC candidate got about 60,000 people. I mean, that is actually a large number. In case you don't want to know, that is large number because if you say you are boycotting the election, you are not going to vote. What you are going to do is you have low voter turnout.
no,
These
no, no,
people
no,
will
no,
go.
no. You don't understand. I'm not talking about an individual. If it is made a national thing, though, for that's if
I mean,
we
there is
don't.
no national
Is it not
consensus in
possible? Is it not
Nigeria.
possible?
I mean, how do you even come out with this vague idea? There is no national consensus in Nigeria. I mean, when have you, except you're talking about labor union going on strike, which also does is not even, which also since the time of Buhari they have organized it. There have never been even a proper strike by NLC against any policy or protest by NLC since Buhari's regime, because they employ the tactics of Oshomole by separating the Penga and Pengasem from the previous one. So that is not even an idea that we should even be considering. And we are seeing how it happened in the Southeast, for example, for those who did sit at home and election boycotts. Where is the election boycott? I mean, where is it? What will happen is that some people will stay, some other ones will not stay. Then the ones who go, the politician will buy those ones over. That is why you're even giving them the biggest leverage to even rig the election in a high magnitude. By the time you finish with that, you will even have yourself to blame finally. So if you're actually doing anything, you have to show action, not even dissociation. Dissociation doesn't work in Nigeria. It doesn't. Even I remember then, even in school that time, what we say, some people will say, you will not write this exam and all those things. I mean, you will not see, you are maybe 50 or 100 in a school. Some say they will not write because the lecturers did, the lecturers that. By the time all of you are agreed, some 20 or 30 will go and write the exams, and the rest of you have failed that course, and there's nothing you can do about it. You only go and beg, maybe for the lecturer to consider you and give you the same. There's no national consensus in Nigeria, and so there is no need to start thinking about what is not feasible. That's it. I mean, okay, you can wrap up so that. But I just want to beg you, I beg, this idea that no electoral reform, you're not going to participate, is actually to the advantage of the ruling party, right? The less number people who don't approve of what they do participate, the better for them. So if you who do not want to vote them is not going, I mean, any person who doesn't turn up to vote in the next election is actually endorsing the ruling party because, to be honest with you, I don't think, except they are their supporters, but even if you are their supporters who is not happy with them, I think the best thing I think you should encourage you to come out and vote against them. And that's actually the thing because most times they already have people who will vote for them already, right? They have that platform, they have that machination, they have people who live at their mercy. Yeah, so those people are already their first votes. So people who do not want them to return should do it, should show it in action. So this whole idea of I'm not going to, I mean, it's actually a very funny idea. But you see it even with the coalition people. They will say if there's no, and these same people will come and tell me keep open mind. Whatever the coalition brings, you will just abide by it because they want a particular candidate to emerge and they don't want a certain candidate to run, so that and they are hoping to harvest the votes of the most popular candidate who is going to win if he runs, to harvest his votes without any effort. So they are already trying to prepare your mind for eventual loss. And by asking you to make not to antagonize, I mean all those things, they are preparing your mind for eventual loss, which they have actually done to see that, oh, this guy should lose these primaries and not run, right? But they are still telling you, on the other hand, that in a case the coalition talk does not is not successful, that they are not going to participate. Yeah, why are they not keeping open mind on that one? They are bent on coalition or nothing. But if I say Obi or nothing, they want to go and they see it as an anti-coalition. They see it as everything that is. I mean, they should also keep an open mind on that. That in a case the coalition does not work, they find a good candidate, line up before the candidate, and support the candidate wholeheartedly. That is what they should be saying. Not that if the coalition doesn't work, they will not vote. At the end of the day, they want to box into a corner of if coalition doesn't work, Tinubu has won and all those things. I mean, if you're actually serious about defeating Tinubu, you won't just put all your this in there, or you won't just place all your cards on only the coalition. Yes, I believe, I agree that if they work together, it will give you a better shot at it. It will give you a better chance of winning. It will give you stronger chance. It poses a stronger threat than when you work separately. But again, I do not think that if this charade that they are trying to put up now, that personally I do not see, I do not trust, doesn't work out, then or if it goes in a way with a candidate that I know is going to lose the election, that I should just say, okay, no problem, let me fight, do the opposition. I mean, nobody is going to do that anyway. For me, I think the election that is coming up, 2027, every Nigerian should be interested in it. Every Nigerian should be ready to participate. And all of us should come together and rally behind a candidate that will believe will make this a difference. And that is what my own personal belief. I think we should come together and rally behind a candidate that will make a difference. Yeah, thank you. You can wrap up so that we'll go together. Okay, Ogada Gid, you can go so that we'll close the space. I mean, we have been here since almost 2 p.m.
You, you have tried. I've been coming on and going out.